on the drug. Shower with the cuz, like I saw. Hands with the click, got the quick on the drug. Shower with the cuz, like I saw. Hands with the click, got the quick on the drug. Shower with the cuz, like I saw. Hands with the click, got the quick on the drug. Shower with the cuz, like I saw.
The Mint, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thursday's the new Friday. I'm ready to get rolling into the weekend. All-Star break in the NBA coming up. Who cares, though? Not Kyle and I. It's a bad product. I'm not going to watch it this year. At least that's what I tell myself. That's not what we're talking about today, though. We're going to talk about the Detroit Tigers. Riley Greene potentially being in the World Baseball Classic, representing America. That's up in the air right now. Got to start out with the Pistons, though. The Detroit Pistons last night are without the dog pound. No Ron Holland, once again, for personal reasons. He's expected to be back after the All-Star break. No Jalen Duren. He is serving game number 1 of his 2-game suspension. No Isaiah Stewart. He is serving game 1 of his 7-game suspension, both of which come from the fight that happened Monday against the Charlotte Hornets. So they're without their two big men that are typically in the rotation. Did it matter? No, it did not. The Detroit Pistons continue to dominate. B-Ball Paul, learn his name. You're going to get to know him, and you're going to get to like him over the next 6 games when Isaiah Stewart is going to be out. B-Ball Paul comes in, and there was a slight second. I say this half jokingly, but there was a slight moment where I was like, oh my God, he's going to score 100 points. He scores 11 of the first 14 points. He can't miss. He goes 7 for 7 in the first quarter. And this is what it's like to have the deepest big man rotation in the league. Really just one of the deepest rotations, period, in the league. 2 guys get suspended. 1 guy's out for personal reasons. It does not matter. This team completely throttles the Toronto Raptors, who were currently sitting in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. So you look at the 4 teams behind the Pistons. Pistons get to 40 wins last night. They're 4 short of their season high from last year, or their season total from last year. And we're not even to the All-Star break. I guess they're to the All-Star break, but the NBA is not even to the All-Star break yet. 40 wins already. First team in the Eastern Conference to do so. I look at the 4 teams that are directly behind them in the standings. And I went through and sorted them out yesterday. They open up the season first home game against the Celtics, +6 advantage. They win by 6. Then they lose to the Cavs by 21. They lose to the Celtics by 3. Early on in the season, mind you. Then they beat the Celtics by 7. Beat the Cavs by 4. Beat the Knicks by 31. Beat the Celtics again by 1. Beat the Knicks by 38. And then last night they beat the Raptors by 18. That is a +81 advantage with a 7-2 record against the next 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. By the way, they've won 6 straight of those games. Right now, they're +1,400 to win the NBA championship. That is the same odds as the New York Knicks. The Knicks are +1,300. I don't understand that because they've throttled them twice now. They're going to play them again first game out of the All-Star break, so no Duren again for the 3rd time against the Knicks in that one. And then for some reason, Boston's +1,300 to win the championship as well. I can't believe how good this team is sometimes. And I don't mean to just sit on this chair and say in his microphone, oh, the Pistons are so good. Oh, the Pistons are so great. They can do no wrong. But they are, in fact, in that honeymoon phase where no matter what sort of odds are stacked against them, no Jalen Duren, no Isaiah Stewart, it doesn't matter. They go on the road to one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, who maybe is a little fraudulent, but man, like the Pistons are the team that exposed them as fraudulent. They could not stop Cade Cunningham, one of the most dominant first halves we've seen from Cade in his career. He was on pace for a 40-point triple-double. He barely plays. I don't even know if he did play in the 4th quarter because of how much the Pistons were winning by. Every obstacle that has been thrown towards this team, they have leaped over. They've cleared it. They try to suspend the guys. It doesn't matter. They send them on the road. It doesn't matter. Jalen Duren misses 2 weeks because of an ankle injury. It doesn't matter. They continue to dominate everyone else in this conference. I really am starting to believe the path to an NBA Finals through the Eastern Conference is laid out like a red carpet for this team. I said it yesterday. I'll say it. It's a red carpet. And yes, there's going to be hurdles. No, this team is not perfect. The Kevin Huerter trade, oh man. You trade away Jaden Ivey. I thought it was a smart man's basketball trade. Kevin Huerter's not doing too much, and he looks basically unplayable. You still move up in the draft. You don't have to deal with the Ivy headache. It doesn't look like a great move right now. I'll just say that. But it doesn't matter. They're still kicking everyone's ass. I couldn't believe what we got from Paul Reed last night, and it's not a coincidence either. Even when Stu comes back and Duren's back in the lineup too, I feel like B-Ball Paul just has to play. He's 3rd on the team in minutes per 36, points per 36 minutes. And here's a fun stat for you, and then I'm going to bring you in, Kyle, because this is incredible. We were talking about this in the group chat last night. Should Paul Reed just be in the rotation and they have 3 bigs? How about this stat to convince you the answer should be yes? Defensive Darko. This is a advanced metric for the NBA nerds out there that I'll just read exactly how it's described. a predictive box score derived and plus-minus metric designed to estimate a player's real-time defensive impact on team success. Paul Reed has the 11th best score in the NBA. 11th best. He had 7 stocks last night, steals plus blocks. So not only could he not miss from the field and had 11 of the first 14 points for this team, just hitting threes, doing these crazy layups, dunking on everybody, he's just impacting the game on both ends as well, just as much on the defensive side. So this Darko metric that I just referenced, do we want to know who's first in this? 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. Who's second? One of the best generational defenders that we've had over the last 15 years, Draymond Green. Victor Wembanyama, 5th. Chet Holmgren, 9th. Paul Reed, who can barely get on the floor for the Pistons, is 11th. They're deep, they're strong, they're tough, and maybe more importantly than anything else, they have this togetherness that is rare to find across the NBA. You see it in college because players play for each other. I'm even talking like pre-NIL. They play for each other. They have one common goal, that's to win. In the NBA, that's not really the case most of the time because everyone's looking out for their next contract. Rightfully so. Make yourself some money. Everyone has dropped their ego with this team. And you can get mad and frustrated with Isaiah Stewart for walking off the bench. Is it a smart thing to do? No. Does he need to clean it up? Yes. It's a brotherhood. He's not letting his dogs go down without a fight. If you attack one of them, you attack all of them. I love everything I see from this team. I love Paul Reed, just like Special K continued to say last night. I'm getting worried. I'm again, they're in the honeymoon phase. They're imperfect. They don't shoot the basketball very well. The Kevin Huerter trade was bad. I look around the Eastern Conference, and even with Jason Tatum coming back, every game that occurs, and we're about to come up on one of the toughest stretches for the Pistons all season long. They're already in the middle of it by playing New York and Charlotte and the Raptors last night. Out of the All-Star break, they've got the Knicks, they've got the Cavs, they've got the Spurs, they've got the Thunder. There's a lot of tough teams coming up on the schedule. Yet, every game that goes by, I feel a little bit more confident that this team is going to be playing in the NBA Finals. They're reaching the territory where it'd be disappointing if they didn't. It's insane to say that about a team that has yet to win a playoff series. God, Tobias Harris is probably the only person on the roster that's won a playoff series. Paul Reed, I think, did with the Sixers as well, but in a very small role. All the key pieces of this team were drafted by this team. They haven't had any playoff success. There still hasn't been a home win inside Little Caesars Arena, whether that's from the Pistons or the Wings. No home playoff wins. I have a feeling that's all going to change coming up here. I've got a feeling they run through the Eastern Conference. And am I getting a little bit ahead of myself? Sure, but how can I not with what they do to all the other top teams in the Eastern Conference? They wreck them. Tatum's coming back. I get that. The Knicks are going to be healthy at some point. Sure. I don't really think anyone's tough enough to run through this Pistons team right now. The togetherness, the bond, it's stronger than what anyone else has across the NBA. And last night was another example of why this team is essentially unbreakable. No Stu, no Duren, no Ron Holland. The dog pound is out. They're locked up. They're in the kennel. And it didn't matter. They go on the road to Toronto and punk them. Punk them. It wasn't close. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, 2 All-Stars on that team. It didn't matter. Cade wrecked them. B-Ball Paul, they had no answer for him. Duncan shooting threes. Asar's attacking the paint. This team can do no wrong right now. Now, they're about to hit again, they're in the middle of one of their toughest stretches in the NBA, in their schedule across the league. It's going to get tough, and especially going to get tough without Stu and Duren. That hasn't deterred them so far. I don't know why it would continue to. Cade has also reached a point defensively where, oh my God. There's Giannis, there's Wemby, there's Chet. After that, amongst the All-Stars, it was on full display last night, guys. 3 steals. Anytime someone tried to attack, first possession, Toronto tries to, attack Cade Cunningham. What are you doing? He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. You attack him, and he rips the ball from you. He's stronger than you. He's bigger than you in the case of most point guards. He has embraced the defensive identity just as much as everybody else on this team. Asar Thompson, truly one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. And they completely embarrassed this Toronto Raptors team without their best rim protector and their second all-star, Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. I love it. I'm so impressed. And now I think we're reaching a point with Cade specifically. There ain't a lot of guys I'd rather start a franchise with than Cade Cunningham. 989-837-6125. MIT message lines are open. Facebook comments are open. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. I'll peep the YouTube chat here in a moment as well. Want to get your thoughts on how confident you are in this Pistons team to make it to the finals. Want to get your thoughts on how many players across the league you would take over Cade Cunningham, because, again, I alluded to this a moment ago. I think this answer is a very small number. 989-837-6125. 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by friends over at Iron Stack Technologies. Talk about the game plan all the time on this show. Boy, Toronto's game plan wasn't that great last night. Pistons took full advantage of it. Well, at Iron Stack, they have a game plan specifically for your IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Fired up here on a Thursday because of what the Pistons put on display last night. Kyle, you were watching the game. Did you think Paul Reed was going to score like 40 points at any point? Because I certainly did. There was a stretch during the first quarter where I was like, he could score 60. I'm not going to be surprised. He might just never miss.
Yeah, I mean, when he goes 5 of 5 in the first, 4 minutes of the game, yeah, it felt – I literally texted you guys. I said, oh, Paul Reed's going to have 30 tonight. He just is. And obviously the blowout makes it so that he doesn't have to. Same thing with Cade's stat line. But, I mean, I was throwing out crazy stuff last night. One of my buddies texted me. He said, screw it. Suspend Beef Stew for 8 games. We got Paul Reed. I want to see more Paul Reed. I'm thinking – name me a better third-string center in NBA history. You're going to all the extremes last night. Obviously, they're all a little bit extreme, but still, Paul Reed has just been so fun. He's a guy on this team that no matter what, he could go 4 or 5 games in a row without playing, and you feel good about the time that he has to come in and be a real part of the rotation. And like you said, going forward, it feels like he probably should be a part of the rotation no matter what, because it's not like he just scores it on offense. He's turned himself into a stretch. He doesn't take a lot of threes, but he will take them and make them. And obviously
38% from the outside this year.
Exactly. And he's been awesome on defense. So, it's been so good to watch Paul Reed just in this role, and I'm excited that he gets this expanded role throughout the remainder of this time that Beef Stew is going to be out post All-Star break. But, yeah, I mean, I just have had a tough time, especially with a game like last night, towing the line of it's still the first time the Pistons are expected to have a run in the playoffs this year. They haven't won a playoff series. Duncan Robinson's the only guy on the team that's played in the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's right, Duncan. I forgot Duncan.
And Trajan Langdon went to the media the other day and basically said, I don't know if this team is a championship team because they haven't even won a playoff series yet, which I think is a fair thing to say. So I've had a tough time having that perspective. And then when I watch them just beat up on every single team that they're going to have to play in the playoffs, I mean, there hasn't been a single team in the East that they have played where you're I don't know. That's going to be I don't know if they can beat them in a series.
Yeah, and we haven't seen the Harden Cavs yet. But again, it's James Harden in a playoff series. You're not going to be scared of that guy.
And we're going to see the Cavs, so that's going to be a little bit of a tell post All-Star break because they've been playing well. But once
we're not
again,
going to have our top guys.
What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to think about this team right now? Because they just beat up on every single team that they're likely going to face in the playoffs, but yet they have no experience in the playoffs of winning yet outside of a couple guys. So it's a really difficult thing.
Though? What team does have the experience? The
Boston,
Celtics, I suppose, but they're without their best player, and even if they bring him back, it's a little and I don't know, man. They just seem to have New York's number. Until the Knicks.
I mean, they also lost to them last year, though.
Sure, but how about the Knicks, don't lose by 35 points, and then maybe I'll start to, fear them a little bit. But, I mean, they beat them by 38 and 31 points. Come on. What, I'm supposed to fear that team? Not really.
Right.
They beat up teams both physically, emotionally, mentally. I think that's the biggest reason why the Hornets mess happened is because for 2.5 quarters, the Hornets couldn't get a rebound. They couldn't establish anything in the paint. They were hitting all their threes, and they were still in it because of how tough the Pistons were playing on defense. They wore them down, and I think the frustration just melted over, and it led to that massive fight that broke out. Then you see, Toronto couldn't even put up a fight. That's supposed to be one of the 5 best teams in the Eastern Conference. They look like a bottom feeder.
Yeah. Well, and
at home.
That's the thing, too. When you say who else in the East has playoff experience, it's not even that. It's the fact that basically every team in the East has guys that are just notorious not playoff, going deep in the playoffs guys. Donovan Mitchell's been awesome in the playoffs, has yet to get past the conference finals, has yet to get to the conference finals. James Harden hasn't made the finals in 15 years. And then the Knicks, they've had guys on other teams. Jalen Brunson went to the finals with the Mavs. He not as the main guy. Cat went on a deep run with Minnesota. Hasn't done it with New York yet. So it's not only do these teams maybe not have the experience like the Pistons do, the guys that do have experience haven't played in a deep playoff run in years. So it's a really odd line to toe is right now with the Pistons.
The defensive stuff we got from Cade. Well, actually, both ends of the floor from Cade last night. I'm at a point now with Cade Cunningham where I don't know if I'm being a homer or just being a rational fan of basketball, I don't really think there's more than 5 guys in the NBA I would rather start a franchise with right now than Cade. He is playing at a level on both sides, both offense and defense, that is the equivalent of, like, what he's doing is exactly what you'd expect a superstar guard on a number 1 seed team that brings you to the Eastern Conference Finals. This league is built on stars. One thing I know for sure the Pistons don't lack is one of those guys, because what this guy's doing on a nightly basis, it's not like he's sitting that many games either. He's out there almost every single night. He's the anchor of the defense, not from a protect the paint standpoint, which he does that very well too, but just as a communicator in a court. He's like the middle linebacker out there directing traffic in transition. Some of the passes that this guy made in transition last night, it's just like there's not a lot of guys in the NBA that can do that. He leads the NBA in total assists, and it's because he's throwing full court passes with his left hand. It's because he's doing the pick and roll, leaving his feet, which is something you're told to never do. And the roll man gets taken away, and he's like, no worries, I'll float in the air and find someone and throw a frozen rope pass to them on the left wing. Bang, Tobias Harris hits a 3. How he even found him, how he got the ball to him in an efficient way, I don't know. Like, the passing has reached a new high. The defense has reached a new high. The ability to get down into the paint and kind of just bully people with his strength and his size has reached a new high. There's not really a ton that this guy can't do. If you want to knock him for the three-point stuff, that's fine. Look what he did last night, though, from behind the arc. It's incredible.
And that doesn't even include, like, his clutch play. Like, he's one of the clutcher players in the NBA. So, like, that's the part about if you're doing the whole, there's not many guys in the league I would take over Cade. It's just about everything that he does. Like, how many guys in the NBA, not even going forward, just even right now, do it all like Cade does? And then you add in the fact that he's such a great leader and he's so composed. And a lot of the star players in the NBA, there's stuff that you kind of have to deal with them being your star player, you know? There's none of that with Cade. I mean, he is the definition of what you want from a young leader on a team. And then the fact that he does it on defense, he's probably the best two-way guard in the entire NBA right now. Like, there's so many positives with him that, yeah, I mean, there might not even be 3 guys that you would take over him going forward.
I've got an exact number for you. That's when we come back from this break. 989-837-6125. Mid-message lines are open right now. We got the YouTube and Facebook as well. Like and subscribe if you're watching on that end. We'd appreciate it here at the show. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Whether it's locally owned, trusted, they're dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Do not wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Nine 837-6125. Welcome back into the show, everybody. Cade right now has the third best odds to win MVP at plus 2,000. It's tied with Luka, so Jokic and Shea are ahead of him. I don't really think he's going to win MVP this season, although if they finish first place in the Eastern Conference and if they pass OKC, I guess it's on the table. But he is going to finish top 3. I think that's like almost undebatable at this point. And now I think it's okay to have the conversation of how many players you'd rather have than Cade Cunningham to start a franchise with, because when you're talking about how well-rounded of a player he is, whether it's the ability to distribute the ball, whether it's the defense that he's bringing to the table, he is one of the best defensive guards we have in the NBA. When you're talking all-stars, there isn't a guard that's better than him on the defensive side of the ball. He leads the NBA in assists. Last night he goes, just torches Toronto from behind the arc. He's doing it all, quarterbacking the defense in transition. His offensive transition game is, it truly is, like, for lack of a better word, unbelievable. So how many guys would we rather start a franchise with than Cade Cunningham at 24 years old, number 1 team in the East, by the way? So I have this broken up into 3 categories, Kyle. The first category is the locks. There's 2 guys that belong in this tier. 2 guys that you just, it's not even really up for debate. You just take them over Cade Cunningham. But only 2. There's really only 2 guys that fit into this category. And that would be Victor Wembanyama, 22 years old, 2 years younger than Cade, best defensive player in the NBA, has a chance to be the face of the league for the next 10 years. And the other person's Cooper Flagg, the rookie, 19 years old, already has a better career high in terms of scoring than Cade. He scored 49 a couple weeks back. He's a 6'8 guy with point guard skills. Like, those guys just don't come around very often. Cade is 6'6", maybe 6'7". But Cooper Flagg's like a full-fledged forward, and they're playing him at point guard, so the ball handling skills are only going to get better for him. I think those are the only 2 guys that are just guaranteed locks, not even up for question. You'd probably just rather start your franchise with than Cade Cunningham, age considered and everything.
Does it feel like a little disrespectful to already have Cooper Flagg over Cade going forward? Or is it just because Cooper Flagg's been that good as a rookie, right? It's probably more so of that.
I mean, he came in as a generational prospect and has been everything we wanted and more, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's 19, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess. It just feels like, I guess it's more of a Cooper Flagg thing than it is a Cade thing, obviously. So, yeah, I'll give you that one.
Those are the only 2 locks, though. The next tier, I said I have 6 guys. The next tier is we need to stop or my brain's going to implode. Nikola Jokic, who's 30 but has shown 0 signs of regression. Probably one of the 3 best offensive players we've ever had in basketball. Top 15 player of all time. Again, has shown 0 signs of regression.
And he's been the best guy in the league for like at least 5 years in a row now.
Correct. Probably should have 4 MVPs. Maybe 5. He's one of the guys ahead of Cade. The only reason you'd hesitate is he's 30 years old. That's the only reason this is even a debate. And then the second guy in this list where we really get into my head's going to explode is Anthony Edwards, who's 24, has one more year than Cade Cunningham in the league. They're the same age, Ant's a little older. Way better three-point shooter, both from a volume and efficiency standpoint. Not as great of a passer, but still a good passer. What maybe puts Ant over the edge, though, is the fearlessness, the competitiveness. Not that Cade doesn't have any of those things, but like Ant probably thinks he's better than Michael Jordan. He's
probably.
A psycho.
Yeah. Gone on back-to-back Western Conference Finals playoff runs, and he's been awesome in the playoffs.
That's maybe the thing that pushes it over the edge is the playoff experience and the fact that he beat Denver and Jokic in a playoff series. Like, that is probably why the answer is yes, you'd rather start your franchise with Anthony Edwards, but I think it's a lot closer than people are making it out to be.
I think it's close from a who would you rather have going forward and just a who's better right now thing because, for most of the season I've been in the company that I still think Ant is better than Cade, but I see the argument. And Cade is just at a different level right now where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the truth anymore. So
I'd probably say Cade's a better defender at this point too.
Yeah.
Ant can lock in if he really wants to.
I mean, Ant is definitely just a better scorer. He's a better overall scorer, absolutely. But Cade is definitely a better all-around player than Ant is. It's super close.
I think if Cade also is put in a position to where he got drafted and the situation he got drafted into was amongst the worst situations you could possibly be drafted into as a number one overall pick with Troy Weaver and the coaches that they had. It was just a complete mess. Ant had the success early on in his career. If Cade got drafted in Minnesota and had Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle, I don't know why he couldn't have gotten to a conference finals either. But the playoff experience matters nonetheless. So those are the two guys that it's like, you probably just say, yeah, I'd probably rather start a franchise with these other guys, but it's a lot closer than we're making it out to be, especially with Ant. Jokic, okay, fine. He's 6 years older, but it probably doesn't matter. He's that good.
So these are the only four guys that you think you would lean them over Cade?
Yes, and then I have my third tier.
This is crazier leaving a certain guy out.
Well, no, I have a third tier, which is against the grain, but I can't watch this guy play basketball in Detroit for 82 games a year. And that's Shea, who's 27, and Luka, who's 26. I think Stu would fight both of these guys, even if they were teammates, because of how the Luka stuff on defense, it just would never fly in Detroit. I'm sorry, I would not take Luka to start a franchise with over Cade right now because we only get it on one end. Like, Cade's never getting traded. I know it was ridiculous and Dallas never should have traded Luka in the first place. There was a couple people, even if it's just a couple, who thought we can't win a championship with Luka Doncic. I don't think anyone's ever thought that about Cade. He does not play defense. He does not play one side. Detroit is, every championship they've had has been built on that end of the floor. Cade does it at an extremely high level. Luka does not. He's also 2 years older. Shea, I get it. It's not for me. This is more of a personal taste thing. That's not the kind of basketball I want to watch.
Sure. I think Shea is definitely like the one he should for sure be in the other tier. He's only 27, like you said. He's won the MVP, won an NBA championship already too.
I get it.
So you
it's
can't
just not
make
my
that case with Luka. I don't know. I almost think that Cade's he's his similar comparison in the league is Shea. I
without the ridiculous getting to the line.
Just if he just gets to the line way less. But I think that they play a similar style of basketball, like a controlled, playing at their own pace. They don't get sped up. They really have just a all-time control of what's going on offense.
In terms of pace, I agree with you, but Shea is much more focused on his own scoring. There's an argument Cade is kind of just a natural passer more than he is a scorer.
Yeah, I mean, he's a better he passes a lot more than Shea does. OKC also needs Shea to score as much as he does.
Sure.
So it's not like he just is doing it for his own personal benefit.
I'd argue the Pistons have way less talent around Cade than just on offense, and the Thunder do with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, with those around him. And it's not like the Pistons need Cade to score more. He just kind of finds guys and gets them buckets better than Shea does for his teammates, in my eyes. This isn't a knock on Shea. It's not.
Right.
And I know it's ridiculous to say I'd rather start a franchise with Cade than Shea, but also he's 3 years younger. I think he gets his players involved a little bit more, and I think it's just easier on the eyes to watch. I don't like watching Shea that much. compared to the other, guys that we've talked about on this list. That's just a personal preference thing to me. But so you would, and then shout out Giannis, shout out Steph. I'm sorry, Giannis is 31 with a bad calf.
Yeah, been
which
injured
really
last 4
freaks me
years
out.
in the playoffs. Yeah,
Steph is old beyond it's just I wouldn't start a franchise with Steph anymore. Then you get into Brunson, Tatum, who's coming off Halliburton. I'd just rather have Cade than any of those guys right now to start a franchise with.
Yeah, I would think. To me, I'm putting Shea in the tier of for sure's, and I think Anthony Edwards is kind of in the tier. I think you've swapped those two. Ant and Cade is a good debate, but yeah, you're still probably taking Jokic. Of course, you're taking Wemby, Flag, and Shea. Those would be the 4 that I would take. Cade would be 5th.
Are you with me on Luka though? That he's just past Luka in terms of
for the Pistons. If we're starting a franchise on the Pistons, I agree. In general, I'm not 100% sure just because Luka is that good of an offensive player.
Sure. But
in Detroit, like you said, yeah, I mean, the fans would just I don't know how much they'd love Luka,
I don't think they'd like him at all. I think his car would, be lit on fire as he's driving away. Fans would people get mad at Duncan Robinson for not playing defense. People got mad at Duncan Robinson. He didn't get involved in that fight on Monday. Can you imagine how pissed people would be watching Luka Doncic complain at the officials for 82 games?
The talking crap, I'm going to stir up I'm going to try to get stuff going here. He would fit that, He definitely likes to get into a little bit of skirmishes.
No, he would get J.B. Bickerstaff fired by game 40. For sure. Because of Bickerstaff's emphasis on the defense. He'd start challenging him, and Luka would be like, "Nah, get this guy the hell out of here." I think Cade's past Luka. I think the him and Shea conversation's pretty close, especially with Cade being 3 years younger. Probably is just Ant. I don't like admitting it, but it probably is just Ant. And then Jokic, yeah. You probably, even at age 30,
right.
Probably would rather just
Once
have
again,
Jokic,
though,
because he's shown no sign of regression.
Cade winning the MVP this year is not out of the question. With
Plus
Jokic,
2,000.
But just from the games played thing, because Shea currently is out and he's going to return after the All-Star break, but who knows how long that's going to last. And then Jokic is right, Jokic can't miss any more games.
Yeah, I think he can only miss 2 the rest
Those
of
are
the
the
year.
only 2 guys. And then Luka's there, so it's but
if the Pistons are
going to be the
first
1
place
seed.
team,
If the
then
Pistons
Luka
win
has no
60
argument.
games, exactly. I don't know. I think there's a chance for sure. First team All NBA, which is awesome.
Plus 2,000. Does that interest you in the Cade MVP bet?
Lock of the day.
Lock of the day. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. We'll hit the news. We'll have Jeff Reckaway on to promote an event happening in town. I'm excited. You know what else gets me excited? Mr. Appliance, your go-to fast, reliable home appliance repair right here in Midland. From refrigerators and ovens to washers and dryers and more, they'll get you back up and running. Upfront pricing, friendly text, and dependable service that you can trust. Need help at your home or business? Mr. Appliance is a call or click away. Keep your homes running smooth with Mr. Appliance. Schedule service today at MrAppliance.pro.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. 989-837-6125. Mid messages are open. Kyle, take it away with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
All right, let's take a look at the news.
Can I do a metal track real count? You know, I have not watched as much Winter Olympics as I thought I was going to.
I haven't either, but I think I will now that we're in the NBA All-Star break and college basketball is, there hasn't been like a ton of games going on. You're right, though. I haven't really been watching it.
Yeah, because a lot of times when it's on, I'm just like the uphill skiing, I'm like, why is this an Olympic sport?
Oh, we're not doing the hater thing.
No, I'm not doing the hater thing, but like they're going uphill on a ski and then they get off their skis and keep going up the mountain. Like, this is just, I don't know. Some of these Olympic sports, I'm like, when would I ever even think of this? Who's doing this in their spare time?
Clearly a good amount of people.
Anyway, updated medal count. Italy 14 leads the way. Norway 13. United States 13. That's in terms of the total medals. In terms of gold medals, Norway 7, Italy 5, United States 4, Sweden 4, Switzerland 4.
Nice. U.S. doing solid then.
Solid.
Like better than the last time we checked in. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Hopefully they can. Let us know, too, if you're watching the Olympics. Let us know what events you're liking so far because, like you said, I haven't been watching it that much. Okay, speaking of more winter stuff, let's take a quick look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. I'm getting a little bit sick of the cold, man. I'm not going to lie. But if the cold's for you, tonight at the Chippewa Nature Center here in Midland, there's a wetland snowshoe hike from 5:30 to 7. You can enjoy a crisp evening exploring the CNC's wetlands area in winter. But I'm getting sick of the cold. I can't lie to you, man.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah.
I don't need any more of this.
Yeah. Okay, let's give a little bit of update on what happened in the Michigan game last night. Man, Michigan losing basically the whole game to Northwestern. We had labeled this as a huge trap game. Everybody in the top 10 has been losing this week. Michigan is waiting for number 1. They got the toughest schedule next week, so you figured this would be a layup game. That's why it's a trap game. Northwestern up the whole game, and yet somehow Michigan almost covers by the end of the game just because they go crazy in the final 3 minutes, basically.
I had a buddy text me during the game saying they look like the Monstars right now in the last 5 or so minutes. And they did. It was like they were sleepwalking through the first half. And once they decided, they were like, okay, let's get going. They outscored Northwestern by 21 in the second half. And those last 7 minutes of the game, how many dunks did they have?
Yeah.
It was just like every possession down the floor. It was either a transition layup or transition dunk, really, or they just kept moving the ball around enough for a Daymera to come and have an and one, Mraz Johnson to come and have an and one, Yaxel to go like basically on a 2-on-1 break after I forget who threw the outlet pass to him, but he caught the ball and just 2-on-1 dunked on it. They looked unstoppable. It was unfair the way they looked in the last 7 minutes of that game. Northwestern threw their best punches, and it still didn't matter. They still lost by double digits. Yeah. Michigan's they're a frightening team when they're on.
Big game from the backcourt off the bench, too. LJ Kaysen led the way with 18 for Michigan. Trey McKinney had himself a good game. It made a ton of sense. I mean, Elliot Cadeau was really struggling, especially in the second half of this game, and LJ Kaysen in that stretch where Michigan came back finally took over. It felt like Michigan, every time that they almost took the game over, Northwestern would just get right back into the lead, and then finally
they gave it their all.
Yeah, finally it went away.
Trey McKinney I think he has to have the freshman title dropped from him at this point. Like, he's off the leash for, like, the freshman, you got to earn your way. No, this guy's, like, a full-fledged part of the lineup and has been getting better every week of the season to now the point where he's, like, outplaying in terms of minutes some of the starters. They need him out there. I like him out there when they're closing games. He's got the, Jeremy Fears reached this at some point last season around this time of the year where it's like, yeah, this guy's not a freshman anymore. He is. That's what he's listed as, but that's not the way we're treating him anymore. He got put into the starting lineup. I don't know if McKinney will ever be starting over Elliot Cadeau, but
no, I mean, they
certainly
need a point
going to
guard.
be this six-man, like, this is our guy off the bench. He's not afraid of the moment type of guy.
I think if anything, maybe they would say, like, hey, Burnett, you used to be a point guard. Like, maybe they would do that if Cadeau got that bad, but he's not that bad. So, like, he's not at the point where he's, like, no, can't start. So, yeah,
Still
Michigan.
makes me a little nervous, though,
Yeah, I think
he's
so.
a little heat checky. He gets a little happy from
Right.
the outside.
Full 2-game lead in the Big Ten now for Michigan after that win last night. They did a good job holding the Big Ten's leading scorer, Nick Martinelli, to have a really bad shooting game as well. So they'll be back in action Saturday against UCLA at 12:45.
Weird.
The Bruins have been playing pretty good basketball, so not another. It's at home, so that's nice. But once again, definitely not an easy game ahead of the big week next week. MSU Wisconsin, they're Friday at 8 p.m. That's on Fox. It'll also be on the air here on 100.9 The Mitt. Let's do a little bit of Tigers news. It sounds like Will Vest is going to be ready to go for the U.S. World Baseball Classic team, kind of being in that reserve role right now if he's needed to go. And then I know we're going to get into this a little bit later, but Riley Greene also might be an option for the World Baseball Classic, with Corbin Carroll now being out with a surgery for Team U.S.
So that's now 3 potential guys for the Tigers just playing for the United States, between Skubal, who's definitely going to be there, Riley, who could be there, and then Will Vest, who's in this group of pool players, to where it's essentially like the AAA. Like, hey, we can call you up for a couple games if we need to.
If anybody gets banged up or anything like that, yeah, it's spring training, so you never really know who's coming into the season with any sort of injury or anything. So
yeah, it turns out Dylan Dingler's hurt.
Right, that's what I was actually going to get into is we got the Tigers spring training medical update. Like you said, Dylan Dingler, right elbow arthroscopy. Dang. He is going to, sounds like he's going to be fine. He's completing all other baseball activities, so that's good to know. Jackson Jobe is playing catch. You saw him a little bit if you were following the Tigers on social media. He was there throwing around. And then, of course, Reese Olson is going to be out for the season. So that's like the major injury updates for the Tigers.
Yep.
Okay, continuing in the news. Yesterday, the Big Ten's Student Athlete Issues Commission put out essentially a letter, an ask to Charlie Baker, the NCAA commissioner, asking the NCAA to ban player prop bets on college athletes. They want it fully gone. They think that that's been the main reason of any players getting involved with these gambling stuff that we've been seeing more and more of in college. I remember this was proposed in the offseason. I thought they were actually going to do it, just banning all player props for college sports. That hasn't been a thing, obviously. I think they've just limited them. But this feels like the right thing to do, right? Just have it only be, if you can bet on the college games, it's just money line, spread, points, and that's basically it.
Why would this change anything with the illegal gambling things when Mafia or whoever gets tied into it? Now they're just going to ask players to throw games rather than player props. I don't see how this fixes anything.
It's a
it
lot.
Just means more of the issues are going to go towards the money line and the spreads, which makes it easier to detect, I suppose. I don't really think this changes anything.
It's
if
a
anything,
lot,
get rid of
I don't
unders.
know. Sure, I guess. It's a lot easier to manipulate a player prop than it is like a team money line, though, unless everybody's in on it.
Yes, but you can still find a way to sabotage your team. All it takes is one guy trying to tank the team. And
right.
It's very like throw 3 turnovers and boom, you're impacting the money line. I don't know. I don't think it really solves anything as much as on the surface it sounds like a good idea.
Sure, I think that's fair. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a good idea. I don't know if Charlie Baker and the NCAA are going to actually do it, especially for football. I would absolutely doubt that, but the unders, I think, is probably the better play just to get rid of those.
Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure the books don't like that, but...
Yeah. Nowadays, you watch college basketball and you see a guy have a couple turnovers in a row and your mind immediately goes to a wait a second.
Or the NBA, really anything.
Yeah, is he involved in the next scandal? Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, we'll save the rest of the news for later.
All right, 989-837-6125. This here is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mid. Kyle alluded to this. Riley Greene potentially playing for the United States. Yet here, in terms of the Tigers in Detroit, maybe one of the most scrutinized, criticized athletes in all of Detroit. Is he that top guy? That's when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. If you've got boring floors, sad shower, Premier Tile and Stone is here to rescue your surfaces from the snooze zone. These folks, they turn tile into art. I'm talking about kitchens, bathrooms, backsplashes, fireplaces. If it holds still, they'll tile it beautifully. Locally owned in Midland, but their work looks like it belongs in a magazine that charges $15 an issue. Giant selection of fancy stuff. I'm talking porcelain, ceramic, natural stone, materials you probably can't even pronounce, but you're going to love them. Stop dreaming, start scheming, visit the showroom, and let your interior designer run wild. That's Premier Tile and Stone, where your floors get fabulous and grout gets glorious. And this is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Riley Greene, we do a lot of criticizing of him. You know, it's kind of, in a way, it's our jobs. Not to criticize, but to give fair analysis, to entertain. And Riley Greene has been on the wrong end of it a lot over the past year and a half. Is it fair, though? Look, Riley Greene is a two-time back-to-back All-Star. He's the first homegrown All-Star bat since Alex Avila. Now, there's a chance he's playing on Team United States for the World Baseball Classic, a player good enough to represent his own country on a sport that rosters no less than 30 people. Do we unfairly criticize this guy? is he put now in a spotlight to where he's under a microscope? We hate this, we hate that. He strikes out too much. And then the season's removed, and it's like, oh, this guy's one of the best outfielders in all of baseball, and it got invited to represent his country in the World Baseball Classic. Do we over-criticize Riley Greene? And then which will lead me to my second thing, which is Riley Greene the most criticized athlete in Detroit sports? So I'll start with you. Do you think we over-criticize Riley Greene?
No. I'm going no on both of these. I'm already ready to fire off on all of these. I do not think we over-criticize Riley Greene because, yeah, I think what he's done has been good. Like, I'm not, discrediting what he's done. I think
it's been great.
Yeah, he's been, the quote-unquote star player of the Tigers. But I think that the Tigers now, we view them as potential World Series contenders, and I think we did last year as well because they were the best team in the American League for, 90% of the year, and then they fell apart. Riley Greene is the face of the Tigers offense, and I still think he has not established himself as a superstar of baseball, right? And a lot of these other teams that we consider to be World Series contenders have a superstar on offense, and I just don't think Riley Greene is at that point. He also led the freaking league in strikeouts. How could I over-criticize that?
See, I don't have as much of an issue with the strikeouts because he was top 5 in the league in home runs as well. What I do have an issue with is the 30% strikeout rate.
Right.
And more specifically, the 34% walk rate. That, to me, is what's a bigger issue than the actual total number of strikeouts because he's gonna be near the top of the league in strikeouts a lot because he gets more at-bats than anybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't get taken out of the game. So the total strike, okay, it is what it is. When you're in the bottom 4 percentile in strikeout percentage, okay, that's when we have a little bit of an issue. But again, first back-to-back All-Star the Tigers fed since Miggy on the offensive side. Now he's representing his country, which I think would be so cool because he basically turned down the Puerto Rico offer because he was like, no, if I'm not playing for the United States, I don't really want to play in the World Baseball Classic at all. He's not yet reported to spring training. I really think there's a chance he's going to be playing left field or at least coming off the bench for Team USA, which this will be the most watched World Baseball Classic of all time. I don't think Riley Greene is the most criticized person in Detroit sports, but I do think it's the most fair criticism. Because I have 2 other candidates that are up for the most criticized. I don't think their criticism is as fair as Riley Greene's because there are some flaws, like you said. He hasn't quite reached superstar status, but he's been flirting with it. The other guys, both Lions, Aiden Hutchinson and Jared Goff. I truly cannot comprehend the Aiden Hutchinson stuff. Oh, he doesn't finish sacks. He doesn't have enough sacks. Really? Because he had the 4th most sacks in the NFL this year with 14.5. Oh, well, he had 100 pressures. Why didn't he have more sacks? Now we're knocking him for having 100 pressures? Twice now in his career? There's a reason James Houston had 8 sacks in 7 games. There's a reason Al-Quadin Muhammad had 11.5 sacks last season. I'll never understand. I think Hutchinson has established himself as one of the 5 best players on, that plays edge, which is by far the most impactful position there is on the defensive side of the ball. And yet you would think this guy is a bust for where they drafted him at 2nd overall, the way that some people talk about him. I really don't understand it. And not only lead the league in pressures, not only is it 14.5 sacks, he had an interception this year. He had 4 forced fumbles this season. This is the one that makes the least amount of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think that the Hutchinson, he is the most criticized athlete. I think it is your other response with Jared Goff. And the reason why I don't think it's Hutchinson is because it's all fresh. It's all new. It's just this past season. Even the year, he was having pre-injury, everyone, absolutely was loving Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't think that, it's a majority opinion that, oh, well, Aiden Hutchinson doesn't fit. I think that's just a short amount of the Lions fans. I think most
it
Lions
bothers
fans
me more than
recognize
anything else.
Sure, I guess that's fair. But to me, Goff is absolutely the most criticized athlete in Detroit. And I think that's kind of just going to be the de facto answer for every city.
Every team's quarterback.
Is the team's quarterback, right? I mean, that's just going to be the football team's quarterback. That's going to be the most criticized athlete in every sports city, right? Look at Philadelphia. Who's the most criticized athlete in Philadelphia? I guess Alec Boehm was pretty heavily criticized for the Phillies. No, it's Jalen Hurts, man.
Yeah.
It's obviously Jalen Hurts.
That's fair that it's the quarterback in most cities. The issue I have with the way that Jared Goff is criticized is the phrase, well, I just don't think the Lions can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Because to me, that's just a very unsupported claim. It's baseless.
And the Seahawks just won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. I think that kind of has to play a little
Jared
bit
Goff
into this.
is just better than Sam Darnold. Jared Goff's just better than Jalen Hurts.
Noah's typing currently.
I think he's better than the last two guys that have won a Super Bowl. So I think it's – and then it's just like you argue with someone who thinks that, and it's like, well, it's just I just don't think he's good enough to win one. Where's your evidence? What is your support to that claim? Because it's usually just something people feel. I feel like the Lions can't win a Super Bowl without Jared Goff. Really, they've been a top 5 offense for 3 years in a row. I don't really think he's been the reason they haven't been winning Super Bowls. I really don't understand.
If someone makes the contract claim, then I think it's fair. If you're doing the money and contract stuff, then sure. But
see, that's something that supports the claim,
right? But that would also be saying they can't win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff because this, not just saying I don't know. I just don't think they can. He didn't get it done with the Rams. You know, like that's kind of what everyone goes to when they do that argument. It just brings back to the full circle thing of the quarterback is always going to be the most, unless the quarterback is Mahomes, I guess,
or Allen,
right? If it's someone that is just loved by everyone in the city, like, and you're that elite where it doesn't necessarily matter. So going back to Riley Greene, I think the criticism is fair. I just think that when the Tigers, like the back-to-back All-Star appearances is cool, and I'm not trying to discredit him or hate on him by saying this, but like,
no, I don't think you are.
He was a top 5 prospect in baseball, and the Tigers are World Series contenders. Like, All-Star appearances, I don't really care.
Oh, come on. That seems a little.
But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, woohoo. Riley Greene made the All-Star game twice in a row. I love him. Like,
let me ask you this.
He needs to be the reason why the Tigers offense goes on a run in the playoffs. He's the star of the team.
Okay, let me ask you this then. If Riley Greene just continues to kind of play the way that he has been, he cuts down on the strikeouts. Let's say instead of 201, he has 170. And the strikeout rate's a little bit improved, and he hits 36, 37, 38 home runs. And that's kind of just how, like, he's an all-star every year. He's never, like, leading the league in home runs or anything like that, but he's always playing in this percentile. And he's always a star, but we never really view him as a superstar. Are we going to blame him for, like, are we going to say he didn't live up to the top 5 pick? Are we going to say it's his fault the Tigers didn't win a World Series? No, I think he's completely panned out and been everything the Tigers have wanted him to be so far. No?
I mean, yes, like he hasn't been a bust. He hasn't been a disappointment. Yeah, from that perspective, sure. But
you
like,
just need other players like him around him.
At some point, you have to hold some players to a high standard. You have to have high expectations from some players. And Riley Greene is one of those players that you have to have the high expectations for. Like, do you think the Yankees fans are sitting here celebrating every year like, man, Aaron Judge, he led the league in home runs again? Like, they're not celebrating. They're pissed at him because he doesn't hit in the playoffs.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that's different, though. But Aaron Judge has, like, asserted himself as one of the faces of the league. Riley Greene hasn't
and yet
quite
he's
done
still
that this
heavily
year.
criticized. Riley Greene hasn't even established himself as a superstar in this league, and we're saying, are we over-criticizing him? We are definitely not.
Sure. But Riley has not – I don't think Riley Greene – how terrible did we really think he was in the playoffs? It was the single game where everybody stunk, but he delivered in a big way against the Cleveland series.
Yes, he did. For sure. I'll give him that. But yeah, I mean it's more so the game where like him, Torkelson, and Keith were 0 for 20 something combined. Like that's
Carey
just
was the only guy keeping the
truly
Tigers
is
afloat.
ridiculous. But like that's the thing. Even like to me, I can't get over the fact that like in a game that the Tigers need somebody to step up, Riley Greene is not the guy. He's not the guy in the Tigers lineup that I'm like, he's going to come through for them. Because he got subbed out in a game.
Which I thought was ridiculous. I still think it's ridiculous.
Still did. Any superstar is not getting subbed out. I think Kerry Carpenter's that guy. You know, he's the clutch, big hit guy. If the Tigers need something, it's him. And it's not Riley Greene. So to me, that's the reason why I don't think it's over criticism.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. get your thoughts on who the most criticized athlete is in Detroit on the mid-message line. YouTube chat's open as well. Going to have a special guest on when we come back to promote an event happening in the Great Lakes Bay region next week. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on the Mitt. Hey, Valentine's Day is this weekend. I don't know if you guys have any plans, but it is just around the corner. An Eastman Party Store has everything you need to make it extra special right now. Stock up on all your Spanish wines. They're going to be on sale. Perfect for a cozy evening in. Sometimes, going out's not the move. Stay in. Have a night in. I'm always down for a night in. Don't miss the new charcuterie essentials and create the ultimate Valentine's Day spread. Whether it's wine, cheese, those little finishing touches, Eastman Party Store has everything you need to have a perfect Valentine's Day this weekend. Stop in today and make your Valentine's Day deliciously easy.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
We got two special guests in studio, Blaze Electric Studio, that is. Local legend, Jeff Reckaway here with us. Alex Guthrie from Top Notch, promoting the Dow Tennis Classic that's right around the corner.
It's starting this Sunday with qualifying, getting rolling, so it's coming up quick.
You guys were nice enough to bring in this nice jacket for me, the quarter zip for me. You kind of got the cool one, though, the red one.
This was last year's for employees and people that were working the event, and we actually pulled that right off the rack before coming in here that others could buy at our merch tent when they come in to check out the Dow Tennis Classic.
So as soon as Sunday, there's qualifying stuff going on. People, let's get the basic stuff out of the way. How can people get tickets to this if they want to go see some professional tennis?
DowTennisClassic.com. Just go into our website, DowTennisClassic.com, and we have everything from general admission, which is our lower end, like bench seating, come watch. Great seat. I mean, you're never more than 40 feet away from the action.
Right.
To club seats, and then which are chair back, padded chairs, to box seats, which also include Grand Slam dining. So that's unlimited food and beverage. Maybe a cocktail or two in there.
Yeah, I got to peek in there last year. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's a great time, and this year we're getting back to, I even hate mentioning COVID, but pre-COVID, where we have 6 different caterers for each evening, including Dow events that'll be there. But a lot of our great local caterers and restaurateurs will be in there. So it's a great experience, and for $80 you get box seat, and it includes food and beverage, and you can't go out anywhere and watch professional sport and have the food and beverage included for that. So it's a great value and a great atmosphere.
One of the biggest women's tennis events in the Midwest every year. Alex, you're here from Top Notch helping put things together. Explain your role in all of this.
Yeah, so what our group does year in, year out, we help Jeff consult, get things up and running, but year-round we do professional tennis tournaments in different parts of the country. So this is kind of what we do. So it's awesome to be a part of such a historic event, because our company, frankly, is 10 years old, so a lot of the events we do are newer. But to be a part of something that's been going on now, year 37, is awesome for me. Yeah.
So what makes, for you specifically, if you're doing this year-round, what makes this one, the Dow Tennis Classic, kind of stick out from the rest of them?
The community vibe. I mean, the whole town kind of gathers around, and that's part of why the reason we get such good players every year. And we actually just got a lady named Jen Brady, who was the 2021 Australian Open finalist. And part of the reason we do get these players year in, year out is because they hear how good the community is, how well they're treated here, the hospitality, all the volunteers, et cetera.
You hear the exact same stuff when the golf tournament comes to town in the summer. It's the exact same answers that people give.
Well, you think any kind of business, and I've been fortunate to be around some very successful business people, and people make the difference. That's what everybody says, and we have great people in this community, both volunteer-wise, that are willing to roll their sleeves up, and they welcome people into the community. So everybody feels so welcome to come here, and because of that, just piggybacking on what Alex was saying, our last tournament we were voted number 3, and this is voted by the players, number 3 in the world, right behind Beijing for the WTA 125s, number 1 in North and South America.
You got to feel proud about that, right?
Oh, it's exciting. And again, Top Notch does a great job for us and our staff and Greater Midland overall. But like Alex said, it comes down to the community and everybody else is involved.
What's your favorite part throughout the week? Because this goes, what is it? It starts on Sunday and goes a full week, right?
Yeah.
February 15th to the 22nd.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the whole week?
It's getting to know the ladies and watching them, because it's one thing to watch tennis on TV, or you could say any professional sport.
Sure.
But when you when you watch them in person, excuse me, when you watch them in person and just see how talented they are and how competitive they are, and then how well they interact. Because we'll have quite a few of the pros that'll be going out to schools and interacting with kids, and then schools coming to the event. On Friday, we have 170 kids coming in during the day to watch the tennis, and they get to interact with those pros that obviously you don't get to where they are without not only successes but a lot of failures. And they teach them and talk to them just about dealing with adversity and things. So I think that interaction is the most fun part.
Yeah, and just to add on that a little bit too, I mean, these players, that we have several that are top 100 in the world. So these are the players who are playing at the U.S. Open, playing at Wimbledon. So you're seeing them play here at the tennis center here in February. It wouldn't be surprising to see them playing on Wimbledon on ESPN come July. So that's a really cool part.
Who are some of the notable players that are coming to town?
Yeah, so our top ranked player, her name's Ashlyn Kruger, young 20-year-old from Texas. She's ranked 65 in the world, I think. So I mean, yeah, she's already played some high level matches at the U.S. Open, and
She's 20.
yeah.
Yeah, how do they get in the top 60 before turning 21? They can't even drink.
Well, in 2019, so young lady, I think, is Coco third in the world right now.
I believe so. Yeah,
Number
top 5. Yeah,
top 5 in the world. In 2019, she played in the Dow Tennis Classic. She was 15, and she did not.
15 years old?
15 years old. May have been 16, but I think she was 15 at the time.
I was
doing to these kids.
I was just trying to pass bio at that age. You know?
yeah, we're trying to figure out math. Well, you're smarter. I couldn't even get to. Mine was basic science. But yeah, so I mean, if you look at the top 10 ladies in the world ranking right now, I think there's 4 or 5 that have played in the Dow Tennis Classic.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to add on. We also have a display board that we're going to have at the event this year that shows all the current top 100 players. I think there's like 25 of the top
That's awesome.
Current 100 that have played this event in the past.
So what does the process look like to get your list of players that are playing in this? Is this an invitational? Is this, they can sign up to go and it's kind of anybody can come join? Like, what's the process look like to get your list of women?
Yeah. So it is open to anyone that has a WTA ranking, but then from there, the top, let's just say 25, get into the event. But a lot of it, too, is what Jeff's doing year-round, what we're doing year-round, trying to recruit players and talk about the Dow Tennis Classic. Jeff and I both go to the U.S. Open every year in New York to kind of spread the word and help recruit players. And we also, at our company, we manage some of these players, too. So we actually have 4 or 5 clients that are coming to play as well.
So which one of you's more busy once the tournament actually starts? Because you guys, 2 of the biggest names in terms of planning it. Once it actually starts, do you get to hands off a little bit, or is that when it's even more stressful?
I'll just say from my perspective, it's less work once it gets going, probably more for Alex once it gets going and his team, making sure, because they handle the player desk and scheduling practice and do a lot of that. And we just, again, with our volunteers, we have a great team that once that gets going, it's a lot easier than what it has been for the last 3 months leading up to the tournament. So with the planning and things from my perspective. So the next few days is going to be busy getting the stadium and everything set up, but then it's a little bit better.
Is it still open to the public right now, or has it been shut down?
No, we're actually, as we speak, Northwood's having a match with Indiana Wesleyan.
Oh, wow.
The men's and women's tennis right now. But after we close tonight, we'll start.
Lock the doors.
Well, we'll still have some courts. I mean, that's one of the things with having a facility like we have with 16 indoor courts, and the way ours is divided up. Really, courts 6 through 10, where the stadium is going to be off limits because we're doing the whole stadium build there. But we'll still have about 7 or 8 courts that are available for either our programming or people to use, and then we'll have ladies coming in to practice as well, which is another thing that's really cool and very similar to the Dow Championship. that you've got the professional players that are going to be coming in and out of the building now, and you're walking right beside them when you're out there, which I think is a cool thing for our fans, and I think that's why we have so many returning volunteers to help, as they like that interaction as well.
Again, you said people can get tickets at what was the website?
DowTennisClassic.com.
DowTennisClassic.com. You expect those to go kind of fast, so
get on there and get them.
go get the ones that are left. That's
right. That's right.
Tournament starts on Sunday. What do you think are the best days to try to get tickets for?
Another thing that we do that I think's great. So Sunday's qualifying. There's no cost. It's free to come in Sunday.
That's awesome.
And then Monday through Friday during the day up until about 5 o'clock, admission is free. One of the things that we do ask, but it's not mandatory, is a donation to the scholarship fund. So a lot of times people will drop a 10, a 20 into a box that we have for donations, and that goes directly to our scholarship fund, where kids that want to play more tennis and maybe can't afford it, we help out with that. So again, Sunday all day, Monday through Friday till about 5 o'clock, it's free admission, and then the ticketing starts Tuesday evening and goes through Sunday.
Perfect. You guys have any other final thoughts on this? Because I know I'm excited.
We're looking forward to getting started, and really appreciate you giving us the time to come on. You're great and one of the fastest growing sports shows around. So proud of you and happy for the Mitt. We're very pleased to be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate that on behalf of the Mitt. That is Jeff Reckaway, Alex, promoting the Dow Tennis Classic coming to town this Sunday. Appreciate you guys coming on. When we come back, we'll take a trip around the league. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. on 100.9 The Mid.
Welcome back in, everybody. Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Thanks to Jeff for coming on. Dow Tennis Classic coming up on Sunday. We were talking earlier about who we'd rather have than Cade Cunningham to start a franchise with. I said there was really only two definitive answers, and there's two more that you can kind of debate. Let's do the same thing with some quarterbacks and take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Like and subscribe if you haven't already on the YouTube side of things. Around the League, as always, is presented by Aird Insurance Group. Okay, so heading into the 2026 NFL season, who's the number one guy you'd start your franchise with for a quarterback perspective? Like, who's the number one guy in the league? Is it still Mahomes? Is there an Allen argument? I feel like if there's an Allen argument, he's probably playing, at the very least, in a Super Bowl. I'd still go Patrick Mahomes as my number one guy, even though he is 30 years old.
Would this answer have been Drake May if he just wasn't like so bad in the playoffs? Just because of
Probably,
the age
but
thing?
He sucked
right?
for 4 games.
Right, like it can't be him. Look, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be injured for the start of the season next year. You know, that plays, man. That plays into this. If I'm starting right now,
sure
I'm just losing my first 5 or 6 games of the year?
Are we
if I don't
sure?
have Mahomes? I mean, he's probably going to miss some time, right?
I don't know. The modern medicine, if anyone's going to do it, it's
Give
probably
me Josh
him.
Allen first.
Okay. Josh Allen, he's what, 28? He came into the league a couple years after Patrick Mahomes. He's 29. So they're 1 year apart.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that's the 1-2, right? Even though they're either 30 or approaching 30.
Well, is there any young guys that you would be like, yeah, I would rather have them just because of the age? Like, is there anybody that's that young?
I think there's 2.
Okay.
Drake, May, which, again, like if he just goes through the playoffs and is good, even if he's bad in the Super Bowl but is good in those first 3 games against Houston, against the Chargers, against Denver, like we're probably talking about him as one of the 3 guys, right? One of the 2 guys, maybe?
Yeah.
He was so bad in all 4 of those games, and it got worse and worse and worse. So I'd still have him on this list, though. It's probably him as the 3, as the 3rd guy after Mahomes and Allen. And I'd go Caleb next. No disrespect to Jaden Daniels. That guy's built like a toothpick. These were all my concerns about Jaden Daniels coming into the NFL, that he was small-framed, he could get hurt. He obviously stayed healthy most of his rookie season. Then
has had a better season than Caleb Williams.
Correct. But, I mean, Caleb, he looks like a professional athlete. He's big. He's strong. He runs people over. He's got the ability to escape. Jaden Daniels,
doesn't look like a professional athlete?
Not when you just look at him. No, I worry about Jaden Daniels' body holding up in the NFL.
Does Sam Darnold look like a professional athlete?
Sam Darnold's like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
I'm just asking.
I don't know. I haven't seen Sam Darnold.
I didn't know
with the
that's how
shirt
we were
off.
based on, if guys are good or not. What do they look like?
So how would your answer differ than mine? Those would probably be my 4 guys that I'd want to start a franchise with. If I'm a GM.
Man, I just don't think Caleb has, all of a sudden Caleb has been elevated into this tier of, he's so crazy good. He's for sure top 10, and he's one of the guys I'd want top 5 going forward. I just don't know, what has Caleb Williams done to the one throw in the playoffs, and now all of a sudden we think he's one of the best guys in the league?
So, Kyle, answer me this. Coming into the league, what were your thoughts on Caleb? Did you think he was this top prospect that we've had since Andrew Luck, this perfect guy who could be a generational superstar? Did you think that?
I don't think I was, as crazy as everyone else, but I certainly thought he was going to be good. Yeah.
Rookie year doesn't go as planned. Terrible.
What, in his second year was
situation.
all that much better? It's not like he was some elite quarterback.
They won the division.
He wasn't an elite. Yeah, was Caleb Williams the reason they did? He was not an elite
No, but their
quarterback
offense was
this
the
year.
reason he did. Right?
I mean, I guess their run game was great. Their defense was fun. He still didn't.
And he made plays when he had to. Again, this is a projection. Is he a
Right.
top 4 quarterback
You're
right now? No, I don't think so. But because of the age and because of the intangibles that you just can't teach, I would take Caleb and expect him to take that year 3 leap that Josh Allen did.
There's still a few guys that I would take over Caleb Williams going forward that are a little bit older than him that I would just be willing to take the couple of years gap there.
Tell me who then.
I would take Justin Herbert still over Caleb Williams.
He'd probably be my 5th guy, and you could probably convince me right now to take him over Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
I love him.
I understand he's the what if man. Like, I get that. I also think he plays for a cursed franchise, which maybe you could say the same thing about Caleb Williams too. But I think what Herbert does, if we're talking about a guy that looks like an NFL quarterback, man, Justin Herbert is probably the definition of that. So I would absolutely take Herbert over him. Burrow, to me, it's just like, if he just could stay a little, just slightly more healthy, I would take him. Just even a little bit more healthy. When he is healthy, man, he truly is so good at the quarterback position.
It's crazy. None of us have even brought up Lamar Jackson.
I was going there. Lamar Jackson a little bit older than those guys. Well, I guess Burrow was so old coming out, but yeah, and Lamar. I mean, like Lamar, I understand that like this season
Lamar's
was not.
29 too.
It was not great for Lamar. He clearly wasn't. But like he was the back-to-back MVP supposed to be. Like he's won 2 of those MVPs.
Don't we kind of think he ages a little more aggressively than some of these other guys just because of his play style?
There's a reason I said him after Herbert and Burrow. Like I do think I would rather have those guys. I'd still have Lamar over like a Trevor Lawrence, who I think all of a sudden has kind of entered this tier. But all of those guys, I think, have a good argument over Caleb.
Where does Cam Ward fit into this? Because I think you and I both really like Cam Ward. He just was in a really bad situation last season.
I wish I could answer this like 7 games into next season.
Yes.
You know, like
that's when you start to really figure out a quarterback halfway through the second season.
Correct. And so I still like Cam Ward. I don't think I could confidently take him over any of the names that we have said so far, though.
Even Trevor?
Despite only being so young. Maybe Trevor, but I think he showed enough last year where you have to take Lawrence. What about Mendoza? Are we allowed to take Mendoza yet or no?
You can take Mendoza, but there's another name that I'd rather have than probably. I'd take this person over Trevor Lawrence. I would take this person.
9?
No, not 9. I'd take this person over Trevor Lawrence. I might even take them over Cam Ward, to be quite honest. Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy was awesome last season when he had not really any weapons, and the ones that he did have were in and out of the lineup, with the exception of CMC.
Yeah, I like Purdy. I mean, you and I, I think we're some of the bigger Purdy guys. Like I said, I used to be anti-Purdy until 2 years ago. Until the year where everybody on the Niners was hurt except for Brock Purdy. When it was McCaffrey hurt, they had no receivers, which is funny because you have to say which year was the Niners not, all banged up. But that's when I was most impressed by Purdy, was 2 seasons ago when the Niners weren't good. And then last year when he returned, he was awesome as well. So I also think, I know we did bring his name up, but I'm taking Jaden Daniels over a handful of the names that we've just said.
Like who?
I understand he missed last year. So do a ton of quarterbacks, man. I'm taking Jaden Daniels over Lawrence. I'm like, Jaden Daniels gets this rep that he was injured his whole college career. He wasn't. Like, he just straight up wasn't hurt at all in college. And
but this was always the concern, right? That once he got into the NFL and every person on defense that was trying to kill him was bigger and faster and stronger than the guys in college, that he wouldn't hold up. And last year, that kind of proved to be true.
Sure, but I'm willing to take the risk, I guess, is where I'm going with that. I would take Jaden Daniels over Ward, over Lawrence, over Purdy. Then it gets a little bit in the mix. But just based off what he did his rookie year, he was so good. And maybe it's the C.J. Stroud thing where, peaks as a rookie, which is so rare to peak as a rookie in the NFL. But Stroud certainly did. Hopefully Daniels doesn't.
Yeah, I don't even want to,
yeah, I shouldn't even.
There's not even a reason to bring Stroud back into this because of how bad he was.
Stroud or Bryce Young?
It's probably still Stroud.
Yeah.
The Saints fans right now are like, mention Shook!
Yeah, all the Saints fans that listen to this show are like, where is he?
Where's Tyler Shook?
I mean, for real though,
he's probably right.
He's in the Cam Ward tier, right? I mean, he has to be.
I'd still take Cam Ward over
sure, but
and then Jackson Dart we got to bring up. So would you rather have Jackson Dart or Tyler Shook?
Oh,
I'd probably rather have Tyler Shook.
I hope John is listening. Give me Tyler Shook over Jackson Dart every day.
Tyler Shook did more with less last season.
Played less.
Played and did more than less with less.
And we're talking about guys that play recklessly and are going to get themselves injured. I mean, Jackson Dart headlines that group.
100%. And John legit thinks we're just like picking on him and doing this as a bit.
We kind
It's
of
not.
are. We definitely kind of are.
I'm not.
Oh.
I've been out on Jackson Dart for most of his NFL career. Now, he started to prove me wrong in the middle of the last season. Giants also weren't winning games, and somehow the Saints, who we thought was going to be the worst team in the NFL, won games, a good amount of them in the second half. Yeah. Is there anyone that we're just kind of like, hey, man, we should probably give them a mention?
Baker, Goff, like these guys are in the weird age tier where they're not like the elite quarterbacks of the league, and yet they're also kind of like on the wrong side of their career. Yeah, like
Dak's
Dak,
the
Goff,
headliner for
Baker. I think all of those guys are in that group. We haven't mentioned Hurts. I think that
I'd like to zag on Baker. I'm good.
Bo Nix is another guy that it's like, where do you put Bo Nix in this? Like, because he led his team to be the 1 seed this year and then got hurt, and like, you know, he was actually probably pretty good in the playoffs too. So definitely some odd guys in here for sure.
Yeah.
And Darnold,
Sam
like
Darnold,
where's
yep.
Sam Darnold? He just won the Super Bowl, you know, like Matt Stafford. Ooh, where does Matt Stafford fall?
Way far down.
He's so old, but like you're getting the MVP of the league for a year or two. Like,
I think he's pretty far down.
it's always like the case of when would LeBron go in a redraft of the NBA? Obviously, right now it'd be different, but
Do you think LeBron could be playing on the Pistons? Oh,
what?
yeah. It's a real topic that we're about to do when we come back. Around the League, as always, is presented by our friends over at Aired Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs, whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal. It's all available with the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. The experience matters, and that's why the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go, serving the Tri-Cities with locations in Bay City and Saginaw.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, this is stupid, but whatever. I don't care. So Brian Windhorst, NBA insider, made it pretty clear that hey, the LeBron Lakers era could be done. And hold with me here. I'm going to land the ship. He said there's teams out there that he'd have interest playing on LeBron after his time with LA is done. Cleveland, Golden State, and Miami would come to mind. Two teams that he played with, and then he's always had the dream of playing with Steph. But Windy also said there's one team that would work conceptually that he has not publicly mentioned. What if it's Detroit? Best team in the East, good defensive infrastructure around him, right? So it's not like he'd be expected to be this like lights out Miami LeBron defender. There's still a lead ball handler in Cade Cunningham, but they have a need to have a secondary guy. That's where LeBron would come in. Have a rim running big in Jalen Duren. And if he's taking the minimum, they're just like ready to give him that money. The Pistons have the money to do it. I know it's stupid. And his lack of effort on defense probably wouldn't fit in. But then again, like he still can be a good on-ball defender when he wants. It's just a matter of getting him locked in. Let's say he was like, you know what, I've got one more year left in me. I want to win a championship. I want to go to Detroit. Would you be open to having him come to Detroit? My answer is a very emphatic yes.
I wonder how many people just turned off this show.
A lot.
Like just now. You know, like
probably a good amount.
That's like my first thought when I hear this. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the more ridiculous things we've talked about. Of course, LeBron James on my favorite team, like, would be so sick.
Yeah, childhood hero
Yeah.
LeBron James, the guy that defined gravity, the guy that made me fall in love with basketball. Yeah, that'd be cool.
This is also the guy, though, that, like, killed the Pistons' good era. Like, that ended the Pistons' 2000s run. And they weren't back for till now. You know,
I'm gonna
like,
show my age here. I don't remember that.
Sure, that because it was almost 20 years ago. That's why you don't remember it. Like, you know, so that's why it would be a no from a lot of Pistons fans. LeBron James is not a guy that a lot of Pistons fans love. I'm a big LeBron fan. He's also old. I just think, like, putting him in the Tobias spot sounds awesome. Like, that sounds perfect to me.
Perfect.
Yes, like, that I agree with 100%. He truly is just a better version of current Tobias.
Tobias is averaging 13 points a game. LeBron could come in and get his 17 a night, but also, like, rack up 6-7 assists a game,
6-7.
grab some rebounds. That was not intentional.
Yeah, they also needed like
the most glorified role guy in the league. He'd be so good in it.
Now, obviously, like LeBron going to Detroit to end his career just sounds odd. Like,
win a championship, dude.
It
The
would
path's
be.
wide open.
It would be Miami, Cleveland, Golden State. Like, those teams all make sense. And so, but from a like where he could actually thrive the most in a role, I don't know if there's a better spot than the Pistons, just because like they also still need a secondary like creator, a secondary ball holder. I don't even want to say ball handler, just a guy that's going to have the basketball. LeBron, of course, wants it, and the Pistons do need that guy.
And it's not like he's like, oh, I got to get mine. That's not. LeBron hasn't had that mindset for a couple years. He just wants to get the team buckets.
But he is going to get his though. Like, it's not like it. Whereas on the Lakers currently, it's like he has Luka and Reeves, who are just like clearly they're offensive guys, and now he's just being LeBron as the guy there. Like, that's kind of weird. And they don't have any defense there, so yeah, like you said, it would fit. You have a rim running big who he can throw lobs to. He loves playing in the fast break. The Pistons are one of the most fun fast break teams in the league on offense and in defense. Like, it makes sense from that standpoint, but obviously this is for sure the maybe dumbest thing we've ever talked about on this show because it's never going to happen.
I would just wonder who that other team
is.
Yeah, Martin already texting in, we do not need LaFlop on the Pistons.
Ooh, LaFlop.
If he's LaFlop, then, like,
dang,
everybody's LaFlop.
LaFlop, man, that hurts.
It's
a good
stupid.
One. That's original.
It also would just be a perfect fit. It really would be. He'd probably be the second leading scorer, third leading scorer on the team, right? Cade would still be one.
I think he'd be the second leading scorer, unless Duren's averaging 20 plus still.
Do you know how many lobs Duren would catch in the course of a game?
He already
with Cade
catches so
and
many.
LeBron. LeBron's biggest goal wouldn't be, I need to be an all-star, get my. It'd be to just help Jalen Duren continue to catch easy lobs. It'd be to help Cade Cunningham and take some pressure off of him. I think people underestimate how well he fits into basically any situation. Tom texting in from Saginaw. LeBron, absolutely not. His ego, all the extra baggage he brings with his drama, nope, wouldn't fit with the team and how close they are as a group. Where is this coming from? Ego? Well, what sort of ego has this guy ever showed where he hasn't fit in with the current roster? Man, this is the people really don't. What baggage does he bring?
I mean, he's LeBron. He brings the LeBron baggage. He's LeBron James.
I think it'd be a great fit. I think it'd be a perfect
It's also
fit.
like it becomes more about LeBron than it does the Pistons because it's his final year or whatever, you know?
Maybe.
It does.
Yeah, maybe. Unless they're winning, then I don't. Then maybe not. I think Cade's not gonna like have his stats go down or anything. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building.
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
I really can't believe how adamant people are that they do not want LeBron James on the Pistons. Mind-blowing. Really. Greatest player of all time. One more text, then we'll move on. LeBron James doesn't help his teammates up when he gets off the floor, when they get knocked down. False. NBA Finals, 2016. Kyrie falls down. LeBron stops dead in his path, lets the ball continue to dribble, helps Kyrie up, then goes down the floor. And guess what happens? They score because they have LeBron James on their team. people are very anti this idea, this pipe dream of mine and yours.
Right. It's more so yours, I think, but sure.
You would love it too.
I just know it's not going to happen, so that's why it's not even a dream.
Then who do we think that other team is that's not public?
What else do you want to talk about?
I love it. I could talk about what would happen if LeBron came on the Pistons all day long. All right, here's what else I want to talk about. The guy who's actually on the Pistons.
Wait, the Lions should just get Randy Moss or somebody, too, while we're at it.
See, Randy Moss is retired. That's a ridiculous conversation. LeBron.
Tom Brady, come out of retirement
active
and play
player.
for the Lions.
No, this would have to
Wait,
be...
the Wings should get Alex Ovechkin.
See, that's a little bit more like on the table because he's, playing. This would be like, who's like...
This would be like if the Tigers got Justin Verlander. Oh, wait.
Oh, it would be like if the Tigers
wait.
got... That's actually exactly what it would be like. Because Verlander comes in, it's not... We all know he's past his prime, but we love that he's here, the nostalgia of it, because he used to play for the Tigers. This would be
No,
like
it's for sure not exactly what it would be like because Verlander played for the Tigers before, like the most of his career on the Tigers. It's actually not at all what it would be like.
Yeah, but it'd be a similar... If you forgot that he played for the Tigers, it's the same sort of like, it'd be like Kenley Jansen. It's like, Kenley Jansen's here. The all-time, like chasing the all-time saves record, Kenley Jansen?
Kenley
Yeah, that
Jansen
guy.
compared to LeBron.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we talk about a player? Can we finally move on from this guy?
I've been trying to.
Can we talk about Cade Cunningham, who's currently on the team? I'm telling you right now, there's two guys I would rather take over Cade Cunningham definitively to start a franchise with. That's Victor Wembanyama, who is in town a week from Monday, and that is Cooper Flagg, the 19-year-old sensation, just turned 19, freshly 19, and is already dropping 49 points. Incredible. 6'8" with handles, so he's bigger than Cade. They're playing him at point guard down in Dallas. Generational prospect. He's lived up to the hype and more. It looks like he could truly be one of the faces of the league. Those are the only two guys that would definitively take over Cade Cunningham right now. Then you get into a conversation of two other guys, Jokic and Anthony Edwards, where it's like, yeah, Jokic has now showed zero signs of regression, but he is 30. You'd probably still take him, top 15 player ever, maybe a top 3 offensive player of all time. Sure, you'd probably just cut the 6 years and say, yeah, I think we can win a championship right now with Jokic, although I think the Pistons can win a championship this year with Cade. And then the other person in that group is Anthony Edwards, where it's like, man, they're the same age. Ant's got the one more year of experience. He's just a better scorer. You probably gun to the head, take Anthony Edwards. I think it's a lot closer than people realize, though. And then there's the personal preference thing. Luka never would fit in Detroit. Doesn't play enough defense. Isaiah Stewart would fight him. And then Shea. Look, Shea's probably should belong in that the second tier. He probably should. Most people, 90% of people, probably take Shea over Cade. It's not my cup of tea. I think it's frustrating to watch. There's a reason the ratings have been down. There's a lot of reasons, but I think
We're blaming the ratings being down on Shea.
No, I'm just saying.
Come on, man. You're being unfair here.
Okay. How about this? You watch college basketball. You watch high school. You watch middle school basketball. These kids are trying to flop into guys to draw fouls. We call LeBron LaFlop. He's never doing this. The stuff that Shea does is criminal compared to what LaFlop. What Shea's doing on a nightly basis trying to draw fouls is insane. It's not my cup of tea is all I'm saying.
That's fair, but I think like when you're doing who would I rather start a franchise with, like not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
just
it's probably
feels
Shea. I get it.
MVP
It's annoying.
and won the finals. Like I mean,
incredible supporting cast. I get it. But let's. How about this? How about this? You put Cade Cunningham on OKC last year. Do they win the title? I think the answer is still yes.
Sure. You put Shea on the Pistons. They beat the Knicks in round 1. I hate doing this whole if you switch guys thing. So, can I just say
you'd have Shea in the second tier, and that's how our list would differ.
Pivoting back to Cade though, making this focused on him, it's just so nice that the Pistons have a guy. It's so it just is such a sigh of relief because the NBA is the sport where you need a guy more than any other sport. You have to have a superstar player, a top 10 guy to even consider yourself to be a championship caliber team. And even the years like last year where Indiana goes to the finals, you're like, man, this is kind of an untraditional team. I don't even know if Halliburton is a top 10 guy. But They didn't even win it. And the fact that Cade has already entered the conversation with these elite tier players in the league, the fact that we were talking about him to be a first-team All-NBA or to be an MVP candidate for this season, I want to try to not take that for granted because I have never watched that. I have never seen a superstar player like this at this level for the Pistons. The teams have been better, for sure, in the past, but they weren't built off of one guy being a superstar, and it's just awesome that the Pistons have that.
There's really only one exception in the history of the NBA of a team winning a championship without a true superstar.
Yeah.
And that is the 2004 Detroit Pistons. That's the ironic part about it. You can go through any era, whether it's the 90s with Jordan or Hakeem, whether it's the Bad Boys with Isaiah or the 80s with Bird and Magic, 2000s with Shaq or Kobe or Tim Duncan.
On the Spurs, yeah.
The Celtics in 08, maybe, but Garnett's a top 30 guy for sure.
KG was a superstar. Yeah, he was on the getting towards the tail end, but he was absolutely a superstar.
For sure, still a superstar.
Dirk on the Mavs, like all of those in NBA history, like you said, you can go to every team. They all have a top 10 guy on their team.
There's one example where it doesn't happen, and that's the Detroit Pistons in 2004. Now, you look at this current team, not only do they have the defense like that 04 team and the Bad Boys did, not only do they have that tough guy mentality that the Bad Boys did, they're willing to drop the gloves and fight in any single moment. Now they've got the superstar on top of it, and this is no shot at Isaiah Thomas. He's the greatest player in franchise history. Cade's just a more well-rounded offensive player. It's the way that the NBA has headed. He's 6. I'm not saying he's a better all-time player than Isaiah because everything that Isaiah accomplished. Of course
he's
not.
absolutely not. Yeah.
It's not even a question yet. But in terms of just who's a more skilled offensive player, yeah, the guy who's 6'6" and can shoot threes from the outside, it's a different. The game's evolved. If you fail to realize that, I don't know what to tell you. The game has evolved. He's a more skilled player than Isaiah was. He's not a better player in terms of the franchise's history by any stretch of the imagination yet. But that's kind of where Cade could ascend into. Like, that is kind of the expectation for Cade in my eyes. It's no longer can he be Chauncey. It's can he be Grant Hill. Can he be Isaiah? That's to me where we're at with Cade Cunningham and what he has shown us this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, it's just when you think about the superstars that the Pistons have had in their time, like they've had stars. You know, I think Chauncey was a star. I think Sheed was a star when he was here. Ben Wallace, of course, was. Like all-star players that were potentially all-NBA guys, really good players. And that team was just what a awesome combination of players to form a great team. The going to work Pistons were. And then obviously the best superstar ever was Isaiah Thomas. And you've had the guys like Grant Hill and even Blake Griffin when he was here, like just didn't necessarily, like elite players didn't necessarily have the right squad and health, both of them health-wise, didn't have that set up for success for them to have any playoff success. And so now you have Cade, who's in a unique spot where they haven't had a superstar on a team this good in a really long time. And Cade also fits the identity of the team too. Like that's my favorite part about Cade. When you look at all these other stars in the NBA, not all of them, but some of them bring baggage, if you want to call it that, with them. They bring some sort of off-the-court stuff. They bring some ego with them. Has Cade Cunningham ever... Yeah, right. Has Cade Cunningham ever flashed any sort of ego? I mean, literally once.
When was this?
That's what I'm saying. Has he ever... Like, he never has. And you don't see that a lot with superstar players in the NBA. Even when he was on the worst team ever. Like, he never once showed a sign of being like, man, I want to get out of here.
Never.
His camp never came out and said anything. There's a lot of other stars.
He had every reason to.
He had every reason to, and there's a lot of other stars in the NBA that would have been showing some sort of signs of that, which, like we said, you couldn't blame him. Cade stuck through it, and now he's obviously established himself as one of the star players in the league. Like, it's almost like a pleasure to have Cade Cunningham on our team. Like, that's how I feel when I watch him on a nightly basis. And then last night he goes out and torches the Raptors. Like, just an awesome game. One of his best halves of his career. It was a pleasure to watch.
It probably could have been one of the best games of his career, too, if they weren't murdering Toronto by so much. So if we're going to look back, there just has been a lot of really talented number one overall picks. Just in the 20s alone, yeah. Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama, Zachary Reese-Deshane, Cooper Flagg. As of right now, you're probably taking Cade over everyone but Anthony Edwards and Wemby, which like now that I'm saying
And
he's
Flag, you're saying? Like, yeah.
in third out loud,
yeah.
there's been a lot of great
The number one
picks,
overall
but, like,
picks have just been really good. Yeah.
But like that wasn't the case before then. Like I go back to the 2010s. Who do we think has had or will have a better career than Cade Cunningham when it's all said and done? You stop me when Zion Williamson, DeAndre Ayton, Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons. Those last two guys' careers are already done. Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, Anthony Davis.
Davis won a championship. Was one of the was a top 10 player in the league for a really long time.
Kyrie,
Davis, and Kyrie both. I think like that. Like those are right now for sure. Yes.
So do we think right now? Absolutely. Do we think that Cade Cunningham can have? I mean, those are both
guys have
75
championships.
guys,
Yeah,
right?
They have championships, and we're like elite parts of the championships as well.
And I think we're both named. At least AD and Kyrie probably will be on the next one. All NBA 75, top 75 player of all time. So we think Cade can get into that? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be able to pass Kyrie? Like literally the only thing holding him back is championship.
Yeah.
Kyrie's got the most baggage of maybe anybody we've talked about today. AD, you're right, like, but has had his career derailed by injuries.
But still, like, was such a. I mean, he still is good, but was such an elite player for a long time.
I guess I'll stop there. There's no need to keep going.
Right.
But he's going to be one of the better number one overall picks we've had in the 21st century, in my eyes. Because then you look at the 2000s, and it's like Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, Greg Oden, Andrew Bogut, Dwight Howard. Like, yeah, we've got some Hall of Famers here.
Well, and then when you even stretch it out to, like, the best duos in NBA history, like Cade Cunningham and Paul Reed, like, really have a shot.
I was like, where is he going with this one? Cade, I was
love
like, I don't
Paul
know if I'm
Reed.
there yet with Duran. Yeah, I love Paul Reed, too. 989-837-6125. Is Riley Greene the most over-criticized athlete in Detroit sports? That's when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live in the mid 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Yiter Insurance. Yiter Insurance, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people that you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky's. 99 The Mid.
So Riley Greene, he could be put on this Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, something I'm looking forward to. That's a little bit later on in March. What a good stretch we're on between Super Bowl just wrapped up. Now we've got the Olympics. This is always my favorite college basketball time of the year for the regular season at least. I know all those holiday tournaments are fun around Christmas, around Thanksgiving. This is when the conference standings race really starts to heat up a little bit. We got Michigan Duke coming up as well. And then we have the World Baseball Classic here in the later stages of March. Riley Greene could be representing Team USA. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. Awesome if we get not one, not two, but three Tigers, because we know that Will Vest is going to be in this pool of relief pitchers that could potentially get called up. And with Corbin Carroll breaking a bone in his hand, it looks like they're going to need a replacement outfielder. They need another lefty. Riley Greene, a prime candidate to get that job, reported by Evan Petzold yesterday. To have that many Tigers playing in the World Baseball Classic, even if Vest never gets to call up, even if Riley Greene is not in the starting lineup, I think that would just be so awesome to me.
Well, because think about how cool the last World Baseball Classic was. Like, I was so invested in that, and the Team USA didn't even have any Tigers. Now the fact that you have Skubal and Skeens, by the way, like as a 1-2 punch pitching, like that is so much fun. I can't wait for that.
Because we haven't even had like Cade. The Pistons weren't good enough, and Cade wasn't on the Olympic team because he was a little too young. I would imagine next time the Olympics roll around, Cade's going to be on that team as well. Like, there's no doubt about it. So to have like all these different players from Detroit representing America, whether it's in the Olympics or the World Baseball Classic, or Dylan Larkin right now in the Olympics,
right? Totally.
This is like just so awesome to me, and it does make me wonder. Like, man, do we over criticize Riley Greene? You made some really good points earlier when we did this. I do think the criticism on Riley Greene is fair, but I also think we don't appreciate Riley Greene enough. You mentioned he was a top 5 pick. I think it's pretty hard to if especially in baseball, with how difficult it is to know if these guys are going to pan out, with how far, when you draft a guy, how far they are removed from actually contributing to a team. If Riley Greene just continues to be an all-star and never really ascends into the superstar tier, I think he lived up to that draft expectation. They have failed to put players around him. But you are right that once the Tigers are in this playoff contender tier and they've decided to go with Riley Greene as their franchise player, their franchise bat at the very least, they need him to come through in some big moments, because you and I right now would have a hard time coming up with some big-time moments he's had in the bottom of the 9th inning or the walk-off hits that he's had. That hasn't really been his thing. It's been Kerry Carpenter, who's been clutch. It's been Parker Meadows.
It's been Javi Baez.
Javi Baez has been clutch. That's not really Riley's game. Now, do I think he 200 strikeouts? I do think that's a little bit of an overreaction. I think it's crazy to I don't think he'll be at the top of the league again this season. I guess if he is, then
if we have a
back-to-back
year, then it'd be odd.
But like the total strikeouts is less concerning to me than the strikeout percentage, which was in the bottom 4 percentile in MLB. He's going to be near the top of the strikeouts most of the time, at least near it, not 200, because of the amount of at-bats that he has. He's in the lineup every day. He's also this, in my mind, spectacular is probably a stretch, but a very good outfielder nonetheless. Where he lacks is base running.
He makes a lot of good plays in the outfield. I think that's probably the best way to describe Riley Greene.
Correct. Above average outfielder. Can we say that? Makes some spectacular
Pretty
plays
slow,
out there.
but yeah, makes some good plays.
Pretty slow, but his clutch plays are more on defense.
Yeah,
I guess
honestly, for real, yeah.
Way more on defense. He more often than not, when he leaves his feet to make a catch, which most of these catches Parker Meadows just wouldn't have to. That's what makes Parker so great. He just gets under the ball. Never has to slide. Honestly, when Parker ends up sliding or diving, he usually doesn't come up with it. Riley's the opposite,
right,
where he can't get under it, so he has to, and he usually makes those plays. He's clutch on that end. He's not as look, here's where I'm at. I think the criticism on Riley Greene is fair. However, I feel like it's the reason the offense is where it is and not this like top 5 offense is not because of Riley Greene. It's because of the lack of talent around him. Is that fair?
No, I don't think so. And I think where you're trying to get at is that the Riley Greene criticism is no longer criticism, it's hate. Like, that's what it feels like you're trying to reach for here, because
potentially
you're saying we don't appreciate Riley Greene enough. It's the criticism is too loud, and I think that means it's kind of gotten to a point where it's no longer criticism. It's just you just feel how you do about Riley Greene, and that's it. And that's not how I feel. But I do think, like, not only was he a top 5 pick, but he's a top 5 prospect. He was the best hitting prospect in baseball at one point. Like, those guys, take a look at those guys, you know? Like, in the last 5 years that have been the best hitting prospect in baseball, what do they turn into? Most of them turn into be, like, freaking super-duper stars. And Riley Greene has been good. Like, I don't want to discredit
that. He's been more than good, though. We got to acknowledge that.
Compared to what, though? Like, compared to everyone in baseball, then, yeah, he's been more than good. But, like, we don't compare the top prospects to everyone else. We compare them to each other. And I just do think the big part is, you brought it up previously, the Tigers have decided to go all in. This is their year. Their best chance to win a World Series because they have the best pitcher in the planet on their team. They've made this rotation awesome. And one thing they didn't decide to do was address the offense at all. I'm not saying that was the wrong decision, but that clearly means that they believe Riley Greene is a big enough of a superstar and can carry an offense enough as the best player on it to take them to a World Series. I don't think he has shown that he can do that yet. So that's why I think the criticism is there for me. He can absolutely prove me and a lot of other people wrong this year, and it's not like I'm rooting for him for me to be right and him to be, like, obviously I want him to be. I, of course, want Riley Greene to be the superstar that the Tigers offense needs to win a World Series. I just don't know if he is, and that's why this season is huge for him.
I think there's one more player that there might be is a little bit more pressure on than Riley Greene in terms of the offense, and that's McGonigal. Because of the way that he's been viewed by Scott Harris and the fans and the way that Scott Harris has sold him to the fans, he's going to have a tremendous amount of expectation placed onto him this season, whereas now, to your point, the Tigers have admitted they're all in. They're all in on winning the World Series this season with Skubal and Valdez. They'll still be competitive the following season.
Yeah, but they
when
do
Skubal's
have all
gone.
those prospects too, like.
Well, I mean, but doesn't it feel like they've got 2 guys now? They've got Clark and McGonigal and Briseño too, but like, just don't really know where Briseño fits into this.
Right. Yeah, I guess I don't.
He's
either,
a catcher, first baseman. Where are you playing, dude?
I think there's like expectation on McGonigal, but I don't think there's like pressure.
I think because they didn't go add anybody in free agency and they're running back the same roster, all of a sudden it is like, hey, we kind of need you to provide us a little spark. Him or Colt, someone's got to do something different than what they were doing last year.
It feels like probably more so on Colt just because, like, if we're thinking about the position specifically, like, because if they were going to go sign somebody, they weren't going to sign a shortstop. Like that probably wasn't in play. It was a third baseman or a center fielder.
Correct.
So the guys that are going to be in those spots are the guys that really are hey, we didn't go sign somebody because we think you're there. And that's Colt Keith. And that's, I don't really know. I think
right.
Center field is probably just going to be a rotation, if we're being honest.
I agree.
It's going to be a mix
it's Javi, it's Wenzel, it's Vierling.
Exactly. A mix of all 4 of those guys are probably just going to play center field all year. And if that's the spot that is still weak, if one of those guys can't step up offensively on a consistent basis, then that just seems pretty unrealistic, right? That they all are just going to be bad on offense. So, yeah, I think that what the Tigers did, I'm not saying like they should have added another bat, and I don't want to get greedy because they've spent way more money than anyone thought they were going to this offseason. They are a top 10 payroll in baseball, the biggest payroll in team history. But
there's a lot of pressure on Colt.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on a handful of guys. I think it's led by Riley Greene. Colt is there. And you're right, McGonigal has expectation, at least to provide to this Tigers team right away.
989-837-6125. We'll hit the news when we come back. We'll do our 2 traditions to close out every show. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitts. If you're looking for financial advice that actually makes sense, you got to meet Doug Cellini of Kingsview Partners. Right here in Midland, from a former teacher and a coach, Doug breaks down the complicated stuff and makes it understandable for people like me and you. He helps families and professionals build clear game plans for their money so they can move forward with confidence, not confusion. That is Doug Cellini, Kingsview Partners, right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mid. Let us take a trip around the league. Not around the league. Mid-morning catch.
Around the news.
It's the news.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I think we all knew what you meant. Don't worry, Ben. Okay, yeah, we're here. It's the news, not around the league. We got some news that happened during the show. Jaren Jackson Jr., former Spartan, was traded at this year's trade deadline from the Memphis Grizzlies to the Utah Jazz. You would think, oh, man, the Jazz making a big trade. They're going for it. No, they've actually been the prime candidate of the league's biggest issue right now, which is the tanking fest that's going on with about, 10 different teams in the league right now just don't care about winning games. And the Jazz add to that by shutting Jaren Jackson down for the year. He's having some sort of surgery on an injury that I don't want to speculate doesn't exist, but we kind of all saw this coming. We haven't really talked about this yet, Ben. What's going on in the league right now as far as their biggest issue, which is clearly the amount of teams that have given up on the season in February. We're not even at the All-Star break. It's not even Valentine's Day yet. Mm-hmm. And the Jazz have been the primary suspect if you don't follow the league, where they've been up in these games. They have a pretty solid team. Like, they're not good, they're not bad, but they're fine. And in the fourth quarter, they just bench everybody and play guys that aren't real NBA guys, and they lose, so they can get a better draft pick come June.
Did you watch the Tank Bowl last night between the Jazz and the Kings? The Jazz actually won a game yesterday against a team that's tanking even harder than them, the Sacramento Kings, who are 12-44.
The Kings might just actually suck. They might be real, ethical tanking right now. But, yeah.
Just a terror. I mean, it sucks when you get to a point in your season to where a third of the league has completely stopped trying, and there's still 30 games left. It's frustrating.
But the issue is, my whole thing is, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, there's no punishment.
There's no punishment, and the top 3 in this year's draft are just clearly, potential franchise-changing players. Why wouldn't you go off, try and do this?
It's problematic. They need to start laying the hammer down on someone. I would be content with, you can't win the lottery 2 years in a row. I think that would be a fixable thing. What's really fascinating is an extreme situation where it's all teams that don't make the play-in. So 10 teams have even odds to win the lottery. So there's zero incentive to tank. You're either in the playoffs or you have a lottery, or you have a lottery ball to
go back to the Ewing, when anybody could just win the lottery. Yeah,
yes.
I've seen this thrown out. The whole point of the lottery and the draft is to help the teams that stink. Because it's
but
bad.
Now there's teams that are purposely stinking.
Yes, it's bad for a league if there's in a city and in ownership, just everybody involved, if there's a team that just always is bad. That's just not good for anybody involved. So that would probably influence that even more, because these teams would be bad, not win the lottery, get the 10th pick, and then it just happens year in, year out. But yeah, there needs to be some sort of harsh punishment coming down on the tanking, and I don't know what it is.
Or just a fix of the lottery.
Yeah, there absolutely needs to be something fixed, because right now it's at a point where it's almost as bad as it's ever been.
Yeah, but it's World versus Stripes versus Stars this weekend.
Yeah. But we got this guy in the dunk contest, and they're going to do things a little differently this year.
Do you remember Jason Richardson? Well, here's his son.
Here's his son, who doesn't really dunk. That's the worst thing about Adam Silver.
Did you miss Damian Lillard?
Yeah.
He's going to shoot threes.
His priorities are so out of whack that it is the amount of priority that's been put into fixing the All-Star game. That's the number one thing he talks about. Literally no one cares about it. Not even the players. Not even the fans care about it. And yet it's his number one thing. We got to fix the All-Star game. It's so bad. Yeah. We'll do a quick standings check in the NBA, mainly the Eastern Conference, while we're here. The Pistons won their 40th game last night against the Raptors. We've been talking about it all day, but worth noting, it's win number 40. They're done for the All-Star break now. They're the only team in the Eastern Conference with 40 wins, only the second team in the NBA with it as well. Boston is the 2 seed currently, 5.5 games back with a 35-19 record. New York is 35 and 26 games back, and then right now in that 4-5 spot, which of course the Pistons want to keep a close eye on because it might be a second-round matchup. Cleveland and Toronto currently own those spots, with Cleveland as the 4 and the Raptors as the 5. We'll continue with more news in the NBA. Cooper Flagg, foot sprain. If you want to talk about any more reason to not watch the All-Star Weekend, he's going to sit out the Rising Stars game because he had a foot sprain. So if you were planning on watching that, which we were boycotting it because Ron Holland wasn't invited anyways.
What the heck is a foot sprain? I don't think I've ever
sprained
heard of
your foot.
Like, this is different from an ankle sprain. I don't know if I've ever heard of a foot sprain.
Well, yeah, your ankle and foot are two different body parts.
Correct. I don't know how anyone would sprain their foot. I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Are they tanking?
Yeah, they obviously are tanking. They're one of the teams that is tanking, yes. So there's way too many teams that are. But, yeah, he's going to be out for that game. Speaking of the guys that they're tanking for, Darren Peterson of Kansas, worth noting that he sat out that game the other night with the flu when Kansas beat Arizona. The Kansas beat him without him, but that's been an interesting story all year long because he sat out a lot of this year due to cramps. There was times when he would miss the second half and he wouldn't even sit with his own team on the bench. There was that game where he would had a chair that was like separate from the bench that he would sit on. A lot of weird stuff has been going on with Darren Peterson, even though he's so good. Like, he's truly one of the better freshman guards we've seen in a long time.
He's only played in 13 games.
And he sits out games for these odd reasons. He had the flu and wouldn't play against the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, I'm out. I would not draft him.
But he's so good.
I'd rather have Boozer and I'd rather have AJ DeBanza.
Yeah.
Give me guys who actually want to play.
Yeah, Boozer right now seems like he's running away with the Wooden Award for Duke as well. So
he's a monster. But he kind of reminds me of Paolo in a way where it's like, can he shoot the ball? Yes, but like if he does shoot, it's almost a win for the defense because he's so much bigger and stronger than everyone.
Everything else, yeah.
That like when he gets barreling downhill and gets to the rim, there's very few defenders in college basketball that can do anything about it. That's very similar to how Paolo played at Duke too.
And they were both really good at Duke as well. So
Paolo didn't win the Wooden Award though, did he?
No, he didn't. Did he? He didn't win it.
Did he? No.
Flagg won it last year though, yes, but not did he. Okay, a couple more things here in the news. NFL news. Man, if we want any more Pittsburgh Steelers drama, why not get some more? Joey Porter, one of the cornerbacks for the Steelers, said yesterday that Ben Roethlisberger wasn't a good teammate or a good person. just comes out and goes at Big Ben. Now, we all know about the allegations that came out about Big Ben during his playing time with the Steelers that would probably support this case that he's not a very good person. But man, what's up with Big Ben and the Steelers? There's been like a few things this season where he said they should get rid of Mike Tomlin. He just openly said that in the middle of the year. Like, isn't that supposed to be the guy you like support a ton? Weird stuff going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, when is there ever not weird stuff going on in Pittsburgh, though? It's kind of the team that's patches everything up with Band-Aids and then makes you convinced that everything's fine.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Last thing in the news here, more NFL news. The Giants are to hire former Tennessee Titans head coach Brian Callahan to join John Harbaugh's offensive staff. Giants kind of cooking this offseason, man.
Sure. No, for sure. All right, that's going to do it for the news. Thank you, Kyle Sando. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got our Mitt messages open. Like and subscribe if you haven't already on the YouTube side of things. We appreciate everyone there. 11 o'clock hour, as always, like I said, is presented by our friends over at Yater Insurance. But at the Midland Area Community Foundation, they're dedicated to strengthening our community through generosity and connection, supporting local nonprofits, scholarships, and projects that make Midland a better place to live, work, and play. Your donations help fund vital programs in education, health, the arts, and more right here at home. Partner with Foundation, leave a lasting legacy, and create positive change for generations to come. Get involved, give back, or learn more at midlandareacf.org. Together we build a stronger Midland, one gift, one idea, and one heart at a time.
Bresky Siding and Building Repair on one.
with the cuz, didn't come like I saw.
Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
We've got two traditions to close out every single show. The first of those is our luxurious lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Okay. Yesterday, man, we did not hit. We did not hit yesterday. Kyle, Duncan Robinson did not hit 4 threes. I believe he finished with 2.
Yep, just 2 threes for Duncan Robinson. It didn't really matter, right? Maybe if it was a game where they kind of needed his shooting, but the Pistons came out hot right away. Everybody else was knocking down shots. Cade hit a bunch of threes.
Cade hit a ton of threes. I don't think Duncan played in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't
they
think
had
anybody
Kevin
did.
Huerter
Yeah.
out there. Oh my God.
Yeah, can we take like 60 seconds here on Kevin Huerter? He's pretty bad. like
he's unplayable.
If he like hits some shots, and obviously he will become like playable to play 10 to 15 minutes, but like he can't even play a single minute right now, man. He's been so bad. Has he made a 3?
Yeah, he made his first one last night in
Okay,
garbage
so
time,
I
but I
couldn't
think
even
he was
remember.
like 0 for. Hold on, I'm pulling this
I mean,
up right now.
yeah, he's just been, as much as we were like saying, yeah, it was a smart move and everything. Gosh, I mean,
He's played in 4 games. He's shooting 42%. I don't even believe that. It feels like it's 13%. 11% from downtown.
yeah, and I think he only has 1 make. So
He does. Yeah, 1 make.
yeah, pretty bad for Kevin Huerter. But anyways, yeah, Duncan Robinson, he's been playing good lately. Just didn't get your 4 threes last night. That's okay, though, because you're still up in the month. You're 0.94 units up in February. So a loss today would put you down for the first time in since the month started. You've been positive the entire month so far, so that's been good. You're still up pretty big as well in the year of 2026. You're 2.68 units up in that category.
So today, I'm going to take LeBron James to hit 2 threes. We were talking about LeBron James earlier. It's plus odds, I feel like, going into a long extended break where LeBron doesn't have to do any of the All-Star festivities or anything this year. He genuinely just gets to stay at home with his family. I feel like we get a full-fledged LeBron activated game today. No Luka still for the Lakers, so we got LeBron and Reeves cooking up. I thought about 30, but that was like that was like plus 150, something like that. Him to score 25 was minus 180, something like that. 2 threes I thought was a perfect toe the middle. I expect him to be aggressive the day before the All-Star break, last game that he has today. So I got LeBron for 2 threes. What do you got?
Yeah, they're playing against the flagless Mavs as well. Well, I mean, LeBron is in the All-Star game. Like you said, he gets to take a break, be home with his family. Like he's an All-Star.
He's not going to go.
He's not going to play in it?
He didn't play in it last year.
You think he's just not even going to show up?
Kinda, yeah.
Well, last year
It's
he
also
didn't,
in LA,
last year he
which-
didn't play in it because there was he had an injury and he was like, yeah, I'm going to play through it and never mind, I'm not.
Right.
Which maybe
it's
he'll
also
do that.
in LA, so even if he is
Yeah.
there, he doesn't have to.
I think he plays
do
in
anything.
it. Because also he's part of that old heads team. You see that clip of KD? He was like, yeah, man.
Calling out the Euros.
Yeah, he was like, if you got to worry about anybody who's not going to play hard, it's not us. It's you better ask Team World. He's like, us old heads, we're going to play hard. So that's kind of fun. You got like the young dudes on Team US, you got the older dudes on Team US, and then you got the Euro guys. Like, I'm only excited because Cade and Duran.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
mainly
JB.
Yeah, like that.
Who's
like
the
that.
favorite to win Coach of the Year now?
That's a team that, like, I'm going to root for them in the All-Star game, but they're not going to play hard, and I'm probably not even going to watch it that closely, but I will for those games. So, anyways, for this lock of the day today, sure, I'll tail it. I'm starting to heat up a little bit in Taylor Fade. I was off to a really bad start. I'm almost back to 500. So
I mentioned
will tail
earlier,
this.
Cade was 3rd in MVP odds. You know he's the favorite to win Eastern Conference MVP, the Larry Bird Trophy. And
That would make sense if the Pistons are Eastern favorites.
But they're not. The Knicks are.
Oh, really? How does
Yes.
that make any sense?
It doesn't. But JB Bickerstaff is minus 135 to win Coach of the Year.
And do we have a most improved player odds update? Is Jalen Duren found his way in the top 3 of that?
Cade Cunningham is 3rd in Clutch Player of the Year, just so you know, the most important award. Most
Right.
improved player, Jalen Duren is 5th.
Yeah, I figured it's probably Denny Avdia.
Denny
Jalen
Avdia, but he's only
Johnson.
minus 125.
It's probably him and Johnson, right, as the favorites.
Johnson plus 240, Nikhil Alexander-Walker plus
Yeah.
1,000,
No one
Keontae
deserves it.
George plus 1,000, Jalen Duren plus 2,000.
Dang, man, I got a Duren ticket at plus 2,000 at the beginning of the year, and I thought I was cooking.
Cash out. No, I wouldn't.
I'm not going to have a cash out because it's the same odds right now as it was then.
All right, that's one of our traditions to close out every show. The second, that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
The second tradition we have to close out every show is guessing what Colin opens with. For our radio audience, Colin Cowherd takes over the mitt at noon with the Herd, Fox Sports Radio. Neither of us got a point yesterday, right?
No.
He started talking about Clint Kubiak and the Raiders.
He talked about Clint Kubiak and Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders, which we have entered the territory of, like, let Colin cook era. Like, we have no idea what he's going to lead with. It's not so obvious anymore.
It's a good time.
Yeah, these are the fun days. And we're probably starting to enter J-Mac days as well. Feels like good time for Colin to take some time off, but we'll see.
He's not really big into the college basketball stuff.
Today is...
I'm going to go NBA tanking. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Is it even my turn to go first?
Yes, it is your turn to go first. You got away with one there. It's 44-37, by the way, to our radio audience.
I'm going to go big picture NBA. They've got a huge tanking issue that they need to fix. The NBA's become, it's just big picture NBA. They've got a ton of problems. The sport's not as fun to watch anymore. The stars don't play. Just basically old guy complaining about the NBA, which a lot of the complaints are fair.
I think they're pretty valid. Like, it's definitely been tough this season from just a viewership standpoint. Yeah, I guessed this yesterday. He did not go with it yesterday, but I probably would have just ran it back with it again because I have no clue what he's going to lead with today.
Kubiak and the Raiders again.
Like, I think I have to just lean some sort of NFL. Like, I just have to pick an NFL team, I think. And they're like this Ben Roethlisberger stuff. Like, is there any sort of Pittsburgh Steelers thing here? Olympics are going on. I don't think he's got an Olympic lead in him. Like, what would like that? Yeah, that doesn't make
U.S.
any
hockey
sense.
does play later today, though.
But he wouldn't lead with that.
You're right.
And obviously, if there is an NBA lead, it feels like it is the tanking thing. Actually, I'll go with this. I'll go with an NBA All-Star Weekend talk. I'll pivot to that, where he's talking about, like, I don't even know who's playing in the game. Like, what even is the teams? Who's doing what? LeBron, he's not even going to play. Luka's not even going to play. Cooper Flagg isn't playing in the Rising Stars. I don't know any of these guys in the dunk contest. I think he's just going to do one of those kind of things.
But it feels like if your thing's brought up, my thing's brought up. Like, they kind of feel one and the same, but we'll figure it out.
They're definitely different, though. Yeah.
Just for him to lead with Caleb Williams.
I was, when I was talking about NFL, that was actually the first thing I thought about saying.
Just Caleb Williams?
Yeah, just leading with Caleb Williams, yeah. We talked about Caleb Williams today.
We did, but we didn't lead the show talking about Caleb Williams.
We still got people talking about LeBron in the YouTube chat, man.
Our glorious king?
Yeah. People don't like LeBron.
I don't know why. I really don't. I don't understand it. Jordan wasn't this hated at the end, right? When he was with the Wizards, nobody hated this guy, right?
Everybody loved Michael Jordan, man.
Pre-social media era. Now everyone just gets their chance to just rip on him. Feels like there's so much negativity. I'm going to quote Bad Bunny. Love is more powerful than hate. It's the only thing more powerful than hate.
Like Michael Jordan.
All right, that's basically going to do it for us today. We appreciate everyone for tuning in, YouTube audience, radio audience, Facebook audience. Appreciate everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Don't forget it. Like and subscribe on YouTube so you don't forget it. I myself got a rec league basketball game today. We picked up a win last week for the first time.
Right? Yeah.
I think we're gonna get 2 in a row because this is gonna be the first time all year long that back-to-back weeks we've had a full squad. We're 1-1 when we have a full squad. Somehow we can't get everyone to play. I think we've played. I mean, this has been going on.
So you
since
just never have
pre-Thanksgiving.
You just never have full squads, basically.
No, we have 8 guys on the team. But one guy broke his hand or leg or something before the season even started, so we really only had
his hand or leg or something.
He never showed up.
Seems serious.
Apparently, before the season started, he broke something, so he's out. So we really only had 7, and we just have not. We've only had 7 for 2 games, and we're 1-1 in those games. So I've got optimism. It sounds like we'll have 7 again tonight. That's going on over at the Greater Midland Community Center. If there wants to be a crowd that pops up, feel free.
People
it's
be
at
popping
8:15.
out to those games. Like, I'll be going there to work out when those games are on, and there's actual people there to watch. I'm like, dude, no one
Family members,
I never
friends.
had fans or friends or family pull up to my rec league game.
To be fair, I don't have any friends or family that pulls up.
Kind of messed up, man.
Sometimes you and Brad watch from the sideline.
Right. I might tonight. Might come support.
8:15. Be there or be square. Again, Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. Appreciate everyone for watching today. This is regarding the basketball game. Demetrius, if you are listening right now, Here's my guess for tonight. You score 0 points with me guarding you. I'll see you tonight at 8:15. See you guys later tomorrow.
The Ben Bosscher